I don't think that's a good idea, sir.
Well, for once, Commander Cole and I are in total agreement, sir. By the way, I do have 50 gallons of bouillabaisse that I need to prepare by tomorrow.
My birthday.
Yes, sir, I could do the cheeseburger routine.
No, it's not for me. It's the crew. They really love that stuff. So we'll
Round one, fight! Oh, hey guys, sorry, we'll get back to Passamania later. We love Passamania around here, by the way. Guys, Wednesday, March 8th. It is, oh God, this is going to be a great episode of Double Impact. We love it. We're so glad you're here. We have a special guest today. Shanthan Jetty is here. Jericho Green is here. Yep.
But we have another. The man himself, Dean Cain. Welcome, friend.
Yes.
How you doing?
My man.
Solid. I forgot to say my pronouns. They're he, him. I'm wearing a red Buc-ee's Truck Stop t-shirt. And how else do we do that intro?
My pronouns are super and man, and I'm wearing this right here, baby.
Yeah. Oh, very
red, white, and the blue.
Oh, I have that exact same shirt that I also got at a Buc-ee's Truck Stop.
There you go. Perfect.
Today's show is brought to you by Buc-ee's.
I was going to say.
But
brought to you by
Buc-ee's. Yeah. So welcome. Yeah, everyone's very excited to see you, Mr. Cain. How you doing tonight?
Excited to be here. I mean, that whole intro was my entire childhood.
Right.
So
Right.
I appreciate that.
Right. Did you see some choice favorites? Because I know you got a certain movie you want to talk to us about tonight, and some others of your own that one you may have written and directed that we're going to talk about too.
Oh yeah.
But
I know I knew every film. Of course.
Did you know many of the actors? Like you've at least met them? Are you friends with some of them?
Oh yeah, I met a lot of them and worked with a lot of them, little bits and pieces. Admired a lot of them, but yeah, I mean, you get a chance when you're in Hollywood making a bunch of movies. You get to meet a lot of those folks, whether it's Mr. Schwarzenegger or Mr. Swayze or who it happens to be. I mean, yeah, so I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of these folks, and I enjoy. I haven't met Jackie Chan yet. I think I saw him. Did I see him?
Yeah, he was fighting Benny the Jet in one of the greatest cinematic fights ever. That's Wheels on Meals. It's a great, if you love action scenes. Holy cow!
I love action scenes.
That might be the best action scene in martial arts fight in cinema history. I think it's crazy.
Damn.
Oh, goodness. There's a super chat here. Michael, is that Dicha? I don't know. For 10, thank you very much, friend. One of my memories of my dad was how much he enjoyed Dean's Superman series. I still remember how he'd tell me about the show when we talked.
Thanks for the fond memory, sir. Wow, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's
Bless
all right.
you, Michael. I love that's one of the best things I can ever hear about the show because back then there was barely any internet. We just sort of started; it's in infancy, and so when I we didn't talk to any fans, we didn't hear any feedback, and now I'm a father of my own, and my son is 22. But I look at the there's projects we watch together, and some of them are very special to us, and so. If I'm able to have provided that to somebody and their father or whomever, it's the greatest, most humbling honor ever. So I love that. Thank you, Michael.
Thank you.
Yeah, and now you get all the fans' feedback. Like,
Yeah. Might not have been, I mean, one thing we got when I first started, because I'm Japanese, was we wanted Superman, not Sushi Man.
Oh,
that's nice.
Wow, that was one of the funniest. My reaction. My brother took that and printed it out. He thought it was the funniest thing ever, and he just loved it. So I thought that was great, and it's all about your reaction. No way I was going to play a victim on that one. Oh, picking on the poor Japanese. I'm playing Superman. Suck it.
Right.
Right.
Are you sure?
Well,
sorry.
I'll say this: the best relationship I've ever seen between father and son on one of those shows is Jonathan Kent, and your relationship on that show was amazing. I used to watch that show and go, those are the parents, like the dream parents, dad, son, just give her time. Like you're always like, oh man, he totally gets it.
But what was so cool about that was that Jonathan Kent was alive, and he got to have that relationship with his father, and I love that. That was great. It was wonderful.
Yeah, that is a great thing about making art and being on the internet. You get to hear a lot of great feedback. I get emails and stuff, and people thanking me for doing what I do, and it feels good. But like you said, Jericho, you get all the messages unfiltered.
Yeah, you got to take the adulation with just complete mouth breathing jackass dummies. They have computers too, unfortunately, and they have 5G.
Right.
And
someone showed them how to use it down there at the library. Someone showed them how to use it.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Just some.
The audience is loving you. Joseph Fazio with the very scary face paint. He's always here. He's one of the great ones. And
love it.
Yeah.
Hello, Joseph.
Awesome.
I'm great. Thank you.
And we got a quote on that. I'm going to screen.
Already.
I came out with it. The guy was picking on me. I said, I'm playing Superman. Suck it.
That's right.
Right. So I thought what I want to hear about is what you told me yesterday or the day before that I didn't know about. And then we could get into promoting.
I'm attracted to men in bandanas.
Yes. Well, listen, my wife has talked to you. She said we could be friends through the internet, and that's it.
All right.
I got a huge fight with my wife today. I was like, just find me a damn bandana, and she was like, what is it, honey? I've never seen you this way. And I said, just don't ask me any questions.
I need it now.
This stuff. I know.
But you told me, and I watched it last night. It's a guilty pleasure of mine. I do love it. That you were up for the role of Johnny Utah.
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
Tell that story.
Yeah,
very
please tell us
early in my
about that.
career. So 91, it was 93 when I started playing Superman. So 91, there was I'm trying to make it as an actor, going out for roles. One of them was right up my alley, was a place called, well, thank you, Chrissy, a place called, a film called Johnny Utah. And they're like, this guy is, he is, all right, ladies.
Hey, calm down, ladies.
Sorry.
Calm
Yeah.
down.
No, don't calm down.
You'd think
Turn
about
it up,
that.
guys.
It's international.
Believe me, it's going to have no effect on us.
What a hard life Dean has had, huh? Since his chin popped out, age 12 or whatever.
Yeah, well, it's been.
I
his
do know it
bear
came out
cross.
chin first.
You know that.
Your mother's in labor, and she's like, "Is it a boy or a girl?" The doctor's like, "It's a chin, lady."
I don't know yet.
I'll tell you in a minute.
It's a nice
Nurse
chin,
has
though.
fainted.
So I read a script and it was an audition for a thing called Johnny Utah, and it was like, oh, he was an All-American football player and he's a surfer. And I grew up in Malibu. I'm a surfer. I grew up surfing my whole life. I was an All-American football player. I was like, I've got the right, bona fides for this one. No question about it. I'm the guy. And I went and read for it. I don't know if I was anywhere near getting it or where it went, but I remember reading it and thinking, I'm right for this. And if I don't screw it up, I could get a shot. And they went with the other Asian American guy.
Right.
I think
now, can you say in the Johnny Utah voice that I'm an FBI agent?
Yeah, see, I would have sounded differently. I think you can't, Keanu, God bless him. There's one. There is only one.
Yeah.
He is that one.
He is.
That one.
And that was pretty early in his career too. He's coming off of what, Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
So, you know, he was a baby in Hollywood as well. I think I'm pretty confident in saying you would have done better.
Well, it would have been a very different picture. I would hope that I was a better surfer, having surfed my whole life up until then, and I would hope I was a better football player, having played my entire life up till then. But you know, there's something about it when Keanu's in a role, you can't. It would have changed the picture. It would have made it a different movie. Right. And Catherine Bigelow directed it. Catherine Bigelow of Hurt Locker fame and Academy Award-winning director. If you haven't noticed, it was also executive produced by her husband, James Cameron.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, I just saw that last night.
Talking about Near Dark, one of her first horror movies that she directed with Lance Henriksen. I think Adrian Pasdar was in it. A bunch of people who were James Cameron regulars. And yeah, she's a great director. Does amazing work.
I think there's a thread that we can connect between this movie, Lance Henriksen, and Stone Cold.
Stone Cold. Yes, Stone Cold.
Because Lance Henriksen was Brody-esque. He was very spiritual. He had like his hippie glasses on and like, yeah, man. And then so was Swayze, but they also had that criminalistic killer side to him too. So maybe there's a connection there. But when I saw, because it's been a long time since I've seen Point Break, but when I saw that,
are you saying the Point Break Stone Cold cinematic universe needs to happen with Brian Bosworth?
Let's get him on a board now. Yeah, that would be great, man.
Real quick, Tari. Oh wait, one of the OGs on my channel, Tari. Amen. Friend, hello, hello. Hello, Superman. Question for Superman. Riddle me this, Batman. What's it like playing the Man of Steel? Love you as Superman.
It was a dream come true. You know, the first big role that I ever had. So I was terrified that people wouldn't like me as Superman, which is a scary thing. You put on the cape and you put on a blue jumpsuit, and it's just a blue pair of tights. And you're like, we're in trouble, folks. This doesn't look quite right. Then you put the underwear on, you might slap the boots on, and cape goes on. You're going, okay, we're getting there. And until that S gets on you, it's terrifying. But once the S got on, I was like, you know what? This is all right. And if people accept me in this role, this could be a lot of fun. Because in my show, actually, it was, you know, Clark was the character and the disguise was Superman. Right. So that was the good thing about it. And the way it was written by Deborah Joy Levine and the way it was sort of created, the relationships by Robert Butler, who was our director, and like he did Hill Street Blues. He does all the pilots and sets everybody up and really gets you set. If I didn't have a superstar stud like him go through and really set us up, it might have been a different experience. But because we had such great people, it was wonderful. And by the time I was in year 4, I mean, I could have walked around in the suit and just gone to the store. I was so comfortable, and it was just kind of frightening.
Mm-hmm.
But you do it 18 hours a day, 18 hours a day, every day, 5 days a week, you know, you start to get comfortable.
Now, here's something I wanted to ask somebody who's an actor on the biggest level possible. Do you know when you rap on an episode, yeah, we killed it? You know, like can you feel it?
I think you can. You know it when you've got the right people working, the kind of things happen, and you're working with your other actors, and it's just it just happens. You're like, wow, this is cool. This is special. I can't wait to see this. Yeah, I think you know. And when you get the right director doing it and everything just sort of comes together, I think you know. And especially when you're doing episodic, you know, you're like, this one's special. This is cool. And so I think you're certainly aware of it. But of course, then the day you finish, then you start the next one. So it's very fleeting until it's out there. But I think, you know, it's like when you're playing football, playing a sport, you just know when it's going well.
Is the converse true? If you guys film an episode or something and it's bad,
yes.
Can you feel that?
Oh yeah.
What's that like
right now? It just feels like, man, this sucks. All right, just do your job, suck it up, soldier on, and get to it. Truth, justice, and the American way.
Absolutely.
My man.
That's right.
My teddy bear, whatever that is.
That's what Dean stands for. That's what we all stand for around here. One thing, Vic Vega, can we talk with Dean about Denzel and Out of Time? Dean.
Great movie.
Big fans of Denzel around here. The way we do Double Impact, the way we've been doing it since the end of last year is we do like a month. We did Arnold's Vember. We did like 7 of his in a row. We did Denzel Annuary. We just did Stallone-uary. And so what is and you I've heard you say that Denzel's your favorite or one of your favorite actors.
Denzel Washington is by far my favorite actor. We did a movie called Out of Time together just after he had won the Oscar for Training Day. I love the guy. He is phenomenal. Such a good actor and so natural. It's unreal.
Yeah. And
to work opposite him was an absolute dream. I just watched him. I watched him in between. I watched how he prepared. I watched what he did. When if you're playing football with Tom Brady, you watch how he trains. You watch what he does. Right. You watch how he handles himself. And I was doing that with Denzel. And he not only is he such a great actor, but he's a phenomenal guy off screen. Yeah. And I love the things he stands for and the things he says. And there's a reason he is at the pinnacle of our profession. There's a reason he is one of the greatest ever and constantly reimagining himself too. The dude is just a superstar. So that was the greatest to work opposite him. And I learned more on that film than anything I've ever shot before or after.
Wow.
Yeah. What do we watch of his? We watched Man on Fire. We watched Glory. No. We watched
Book of Eli.
Book of Eli. Holy cow.
Yeah.
Jeez. Yeah.
That was crazy. But your character in Out of Time, Dean. Oh man. I mean, it's just a testament to how well you did it. But that guy, I was like, he was a bitch.
Well, he was getting led around by his woman. Not that has ever happened to anybody before.
Yeah,
but, come on. Sanaa Lathan was pulling the strings and everything else on that one. She's lovely too. And
that was a great movie, man.
Even Mendez had to stare at her.
That was a brilliant pivot. She was pulling lovely lady though, real life, terrific gal.
But her character
was a little shady. Let me grab was great. It was just great to be in that film.
Yeah. Let me read a few super chats because they're on like a timer. They expire real quick. Sue Dexter for $1.99. Thank you so much. You're very generous. Dean, who would you like to work with next? I'll let you answer that one, then I'll move to the next one.
I'd like to work with Denzel again anytime. There's lots of guys out there and actors that I think are fantastic. I really hadn't even considered who it might be next. It's just Gabe El Taib. That's certainly number. It's on my list. I don't know what number it is on my list, but it's on the list. I'm fortunate. I get to work with my heroes and people that I really admire, and they turn out to be great. There are some actors that I just think are so much fun to watch, and there are projects like something like Tropic Thunder, which I thought was just brilliant. Yes. I'd love to do something like that. But there's certain things that I just, I jump up and down for. So I don't know who it's going to be. There are so many people that I admire. But when I've already checked the number one off my list, I'm in pretty good shape.
Very cool. Very cool. Yeah, that is true. You worked with your favorite guy already. My goodness. Double Brewski for $5. Mr. Cain, if you were to reprise your role as Superman in your own Justice League film, what actors would you pick for the rest of the team? Wow, that's a huge question.
It's a big bite.
Well, I'm going to start off with Gal Gadot. Anyway, Gal Gadot is going to be in there, and she's going to love Superman, and they're going to have babies.
Okay, now this is a guy that already got paid money. It's Terry Hatcher.
We got to talk about that. Yeah,
I'll tell you this: they're real and they're spectacular. Wait, that's a line from a show.
Yeah, I only had two crushes when I was a kid on the television, and it was the young. And this is the thing, Dean. We're gonna get through this. We're gonna squash this. One was the gal from Life Goes On, and the other one was Terry Hatcher. And I go, "What is it? What is it, Dean? What's happening?"
It's
two lovely ladies. Two lovely ladies. One I kissed a lot, and one was too young to kiss.
Right on.
That was Kelly Martin.
Fair play.
Yeah, she's lovely, super smart, and just a really lovely person. I haven't seen her, I can't even think about how many years, 35 years, barely at all. So she was just lovely, and it was such a fun little bit to do on Life Goes On. Terry Hatcher, I had to kiss her a lot. And here's the thing, you really want to know, gosh, I hope she was a good kisser. I'll tell you, and I'll be totally honest, I don't want to burst anybody's bubble. But she's a fantastic kisser.
Somehow I knew that.
Somehow I knew that. You can tell when you watch on screen.
That's already.
Damn. Died. That was
already.
And he died right
That's
there.
a record.
He does come back to life because he's our Indian friend, so he does
I'm reincarnated again. That's good.
Oh, perfect. Transmigration of souls, very important.
Here's a nice one. Shin Akage I've been watching Superman and Lois with my baby boy for the past month. Oh,
See, that's one of the things so great about our show, Lois and Clark, and I guess Superman and Lois does the same thing. You know, it's a family-oriented show. You can sit down and you can watch it. That's the Tyler Hoechlin, I'm sure.
I thought
version.
this was yours. They were saying I caught.
No, I think that's the Tyler Hoechlin version. I haven't seen it yet, but I hear they got kids, and it's wonderful. It's kind of where I wanted to go with Lois and Clark.
You wanted to have kids with Lois? On the
kids that'd be great though.
Well, they had a kid,
which we got a kid at the end, but it wasn't ours.
I'm sorry, you wanted to make
it.
You wanted to make it.
We were practicing making kids. We were married.
There you
go.
That's right.
Would have been nice to see them have their, and sort of create that next thing that happens when you have a Kryptonian and a human, and will they have powers, and how does that, what is their childhood like in adolescence? Do they grow up right away? I mean, we could have created anything, and I was pushing them to do that. Then I thought it'd be a lot of fun for them to be parents, and maybe we would have gotten there in season 5. We were supposed to do season 5, but Terry got pregnant, not me. And
yeah, it'd be kind of tough for you to pull that off.
Not me. And so she was going to be a difficult pregnancy, and so she was going to be bedbound a lot of it. So we were forced with what to do with that. I thought we should work it in and have a baby, and they thought otherwise. I did. Warner Brothers won that conversation.
Okay. All right. I think I got 2 more of these real quick. Joe Mello. Joe's always here. He's a great guy. Hey, Double Impact Chat and Mr. Cain. I remember watching your Lois and Clark show with my dad in the early 90s when I was around 10. God bless you, sir, and everyone else in the channel. Well, thank you, Joe. Thank you for always being here, buddy.
It's the coolest thing to ever hear. I know how important that is as a father. There's things we bond over still if we watch. Hey, remember we watched that? And it's just such a great thing to be a part of memories for people. It's literally the best thing I could ever hear.
That's awesome, man. And let me find this other one. Okay, it flashed up here. Joseph Fazio, with the frightening face makeup that he always has. Say, Dean, what was it like working with Lord Norris, Simon Templeton, known by us geeks as the voice of Dr. Doom and Cain the Vampire from Legacy of Kain? What was it like working with that guy?
He was fantastic. I mean, he was a bad guy on our show, and it was English because, English are bad guys.
Yeah.
And he was great. It was wonderful. That was season 4. We were getting through it. We had to have Roger Daltrey in there too during that whole little span. It was really great. Simon was nothing but a gentleman and fun, total pro, as most Brit actors are. I'm not going to lie. They're really fantastic. And he was just evil. Great. And evil. They have to be evil. The Brits, when you have that accent, you're either nobility or you're evil. That's it.
Let me ask you this, Dean. So back then, we mentioned before, the infantile stages of the internet, everything wasn't take a picture, upload it to the world like it is now, feedback and other things. So how long did it take before, it was like some Beatles type shit when you were out in public? Like you couldn't just go when and where you wanted to anymore. It was creating an issue.
Well, it was really weird because we started doing the show in 92, actually, I was cast. So 93, beginning of 93, we start shooting it. We do the pilot, and then we're waiting to hear things. And then, there's a lot of when you're on one of the 3 networks. At the time, there were 3 networks, and you're on a big giant show. And it's going to be Superman. The whole machinery of the network comes into play, and that in itself was stunning. The upfronts. We were out at upfronts, Carnegie Hall in New York City, and they were announcing it. And you go talk with the president of the network, and you talk about doing the show, and then everybody wants to take pictures with you. That was shocking in its own right. Now you're going out to, excuse me. Now you're going out to present, an award at the Golden Globes and at the Emmys and stuff. And you're like, wow, we've barely shot anything. And you're out there, and it's a new Superman, and you start doing the ad campaign for all the stuff, and you're doing the tattoo on the arm and the jeans and all the sexy. It starts to just become this monster. And then, so we shot the whole first season, and in the way it used to work is overseas in Europe, it'd be about a year later that everybody would see the show. So it wasn't a worldwide release. It was only within the States first. So I did the first season, and Warner Brothers offered me to go do a world tour, a European tour, and all these places and go promote the show. But I would, I'd do 3 days for them, and I'd get 3 days in any city I wanted. And then it was just awesome. So my buddy and I did it, and we filmed it. He brought a camera for Access Hollywood or something like that. and we went to open a Warner Brothers store in the UK up near Newcastle, and there were literally thousands of people in line. And my buddy was going up. This is my boy. Like, we're hanging out. He was being my Lois Lane when I was trying to like learn the lines. And so here he is, and he's cruising through now. Now he's taking these videos of these girls and these kids screaming and losing their minds, just talking to them at the back of the line. And people were passing out and stuff like that. I was like,
wow,
this is insane.
Wow.
So like 1,000 Brits, like 3 straight teeth, people passing out everywhere. Right.
Yep.
And this was in the beginning.
This was 90. So this is the summer of 94. And it was unbelievable to me. So some places didn't recognize me because it hadn't come out in Europe yet. But then after that, it was just kind of worldwide. And I've just kind of actually grown very comfortable with people going, hey, Superman. You know, and I don't even think twice about it. In New York City, it's really weird because people are like, yo, what's up, Superman? That's it. They don't even want to talk to you. Nothing. They're like, yo, what's up, Superman? And you just cruise by like it's normal. You know, in other places, people will sit and talk to you and get excited or whatever. I never expected. I put on a baseball hat. Nobody knows who the hell I am. I'm gone. I'm anybody. And maybe somebody might recognize something. So I've always been able to just sort of disappear. And I never think about it. Like, oh, gosh, I'm Superman. But I play a lot of sports. And anything you do sports-wise, if anybody blocks your shot or you miss some, it's yo, Superman, keep that crap out of here. I will knock that out. It's always that. Or you hit something. Yo, man, Superman just dropped that on you. It's always so. It's the good and the bad. If I'm going to be associated with any character for the rest of my life, I'm happy that it's Superman.
Yeah, that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, a lot of people might not know that you were. We'll take a quick little detour here. You are an NCAA record holder in football, right?
Still hold two.
You have the record for highest average interceptions in a season, right?
Yes,
that's right.
And in a career.
Right. So this is a little bit of you. I won't play too much of it because YouTube gets a little funny. But and then I have another super chat. But
this is junior year. We were
the reason I brought this up is because someone in the chat wanted to ask about your favorite memory of Princeton and all that. But let's watch you get the ball here.
Look out!
Boom.
Cuts it back.
Nice.
Get there? No.
Oh, almost nice return though. Nice return.
Huge moment in the game.
Yeah.
We were down 4 points. They were ranked 8th in the country, and we were terrible. Look at that little kid.
There he is. So I'm assuming you did all right on sorority row there.
We didn't have sororities at Princeton, but but I did all right.
If there were one,
yeah.
If there was,
they had them on other campuses nearby, but no, we don't. Sororities and fraternities are outlawed at Princeton, but they somehow managed to exist a little bit.
All right.
Yeah, I'm sure the kids will.
The thing that people don't understand is there's a lot to overcome there. I mean, you're a superstar athlete. You only have a diploma from Princeton. So everybody's got their thing to overcome is what we're trying to say.
Yeah.
You're handsome. I mean, you've got to carry the weight that you get, and that's just the way it is.
Yeah, that's how it is, man.
You do a great job.
Relatable.
Happy.
Doing a great job.
Happy and blessed.
It's admirable that you do all that with such a great attitude, man. Really quick, let me read this one. Jeffrey H. Haskell for 5. Thank you, Jeffrey. Hey, Dean, it's so great to see you still going strong. You really don't age, man. What future project are you looking forward to the most? Do you have a picture of Dorian Gray in your attic by any chance?
I have a weird painting over here I don't want to talk about, though.
Oh, you got that painting. The one that you threw the towel over
that
that
one? Show on camera.
Oh, okay. Well, what project are you looking forward to the most?
Well, first of all, the Japanese genes, this is where it's a good thing. Because, you know, we Japanese, they say black don't crack. I say yellow stays mellow.
Oh, there you have it.
And it's true, man. I'm lucky with that Japanese genes in there. So Tanaka is my given name. And I'm a quarter Japanese, and that helps a lot. I haven't gone gray yet. That's a big deal. Which is a lovely, lovely thing. I got lucky. It gets in my beard. My son says to me, and he's 22, he's like, if I start growing the beard out, it's gray. He's like, Dad, you got to shave that. You look old. And I'm like, go to your room. And then he wants to wrestle.
Superman.
I dyed my beard. I dyed my beard this afternoon. It's very gray, actually. And my wife said, "Did you dye that because you're going on with Dean?" And I said to her, "Do you think they'll notice?" No, but it was just, but it was literally a coincidence. I've done it like twice in my life.
Sure.
I was thinking about doing it, and then she was accusing me of doing it because I was here with you. So
she's right though, isn't she?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, my wife said the same thing about taking off the wedding ring. She was like, "Honey, what the hell?"
Whoa,
I was like,
taking
"Baby,
it too far, man.
it's Superman, baby."
Too far.
No, but
so the project I have coming up next. I'm sorry.
Yo, go ahead. No, please.
So the project I have coming up, Japanese or Kryptonian genes? A little bit of both.
Yeah, there you go.
Japtonian.
There you go.
I wasn't gonna say it. I was not gonna
Kryptonese.
say it.
I'll throw some Kryptonese at you. So Little Angels is the project that I'm really looking forward to coming out. Which is one I wrote, produced, directed, starred in. That's the story of a college football coach, like a Nick Saban type, superstar, winning national championships. Has the national championship locked up, brings in a girl kicker to kick it and make some headlines and whatever. She shanks it off the upright. There we go.
Yeah,
And then he gets angry and says some stupid stuff. Ends up having to have to coach under 13-year-old girls soccer. Girls so good. And has to turn these bunch of losers into winners. And he is such a good coach. He thinks he can do that. And he grows as a human being and as a coach and as a person as a result. That's Brandi Chastain.
Yeah,
she is fantastic. One of the greatest goals in World Cup history, maybe the greatest, certainly on the women's.
Right.
Beating China that year, and there she is working with Alex Go, who plays our lead little young girl, who is so good. She plays Tevi, and she is lovely. Lou Ferrigno.
Oh, the Hulk is in this.
Oh, I got Lou to come out and do a
Wait a minute. You got Superman and the Hulk in this thing.
That's
nice.
right.
That's crazy.
Absolutely. And our little superstar goalie there. She's actually a great striker, too. She's fantastic and a very good actress.
Now, I had heard that originally the part of Lou Ferrigno, and we love Lou. He's a great guy. But I had heard it was originally going to go to Arnold Schwarzenegger. Jericho's Arnold there? And does he have any info on that? Or
He's always here.
what is Arnold? Did Arnold really want this role? Is he happy for his friend Lou that he got it, or no?
I mean, of course, I wanted to be there, but I'm like, Lou, if you can be there for me, it's okay. As long as Dean gets everything he needs to make his movie there.
Okay, very cool. Do you think? I mean, this is just between us. Do you think you would have done better than Lou, though, Arnie?
Of course. I'm the greatest to ever go into a weight room and say, I'll pick that up, I'll lift it over my head there. But it's fine. He can have it. I love him.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah, we love Lou. We love him.
And I love you. Yeah.
Thank you, Arnold. Thank you. Tell Jericho to come back, Arnold. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's a little thing that goes on here, Dean.
I love that. That's so good. It's ridiculous.
It's absurd. It's absurd.
Thank you. We have a good time. Good time.
There's also a British lord. There's a British lord that thinks he's a horse. That's another guy. Yeah. There's a demented murdering janitor named Bubbles. There's a lot of guys around here, Dean. Don't worry about it.
I appreciate we're getting help, Dean. The main thing is we're asking for help.
It's a cry for help.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm sorry, we interrupted Little Angels here, but
sorry. So yeah, he has to coach these girls, and his new athletic director ends up being one of the moms on the team, and she is there, ends up being a little romance. It's basically like the Mighty Ducks. It's very similar to the Mighty Ducks. That handsome guy smiling at a beautiful woman. I know there's a beautiful woman in there somewhere. Well, there's a car.
That car, yeah.
Well, there she is.
No smile at that.
Look, how much money do you think Nick Saban makes? This guy's making $5 million a year. He can afford all the cars in the world.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So Little Angels, huh? And where can people see this? Is it out? Or
so we're making a distribution deal for it literally right now. Hopefully tomorrow morning, I'm going to have a very interesting conversation that could shed some light on that. And because it's Women's World Cup year, I imagine we're going to be coming out somewhere around the World Cup, which is in June or July, down in Australia and New Zealand. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to coincide our rollout with the rollout of the Women's World Cup, and sort of have a little synergy there, and worldwide, that'll be a wonderful, wonderful thing. It's a really feel-good, lovely. I'm super proud of this movie.
And you wrote and directed this.
I wrote it, produced it, directed it, starred in it. So if there's anything you don't like about it, there's one person to blame, and you're looking at it.
All right, awesome.
And if you do love it, there's one person to blame.
That's right.
But like my goddaughter and my niece are both 12 years old. They're in this. I can see my niece right now. She's in that picture, and it's just great fun. I've been around it a lot with watching the girls play soccer, so it's lovely. And you show up on a weekend, and there's a girls AYSO soccer league or something like that, or club soccer. There's 5,000 girls running around like mad.
That's crazy.
It's awesome. So if one of every 20 of these girls watches this movie, it's going to be a huge success.
Right. That's awesome, man. I love it.
My niece, she does traveling league volleyball. And she's in 8th grade. You go into these huge, like I don't even know, like an indoor stadium. It's just big, huge concrete floor for acres and acres, and it is packed and loud as hell. Kids, thousands of kids from all over the place. It's great, that they're putting that kind of focus and practice into something. But man, it is thousands of kids.
I love it. A little known fact: you're also looking at the former captain of the Princeton volleyball team. Just throwing it out there.
Oh, really?
Just throwing it out there.
Add into that resume.
Did you guys
Any
ever do
other struggles you've had to?
Well, did we ever do what? Did we ever do what?
Top Gun style with your jeans?
Just some jeans.
No. But I grew up playing volleyball out here.
Baby oil.
I knew the guys who doubled those guys, though.
You know what?
Those guys, like Denzel.
The guy that doubled, I think Goose was my brother's biology teacher, Mr. Bird. He was a 1984 Olympic volleyball player for the U.S. and he was a biology teacher at Bernardo Heights Middle School.
Wait, what's his name?
Mr. Bird, I think was his name.
Bird, yes. I know who you're talking about because my buddy was on that team.
Okay.
Eric Sato played on that team.
Very cool.
Yeah, I played with in high school and earlier. So wow. Yes. And I dated a female professional volleyball player for a long time. I love athletic women. I love female athletes.
God, we have so much in common.
I just want the female athletes to be able to compete against females. That's all I'm saying.
Hey, and nothing too complicated. Pretty much the way we've been doing it.
I don't know, all the millennia, but whatever.
Yeah, forever.
And it's great to inspire these little girls. It is International Women's Day today, so watch out on the road, fellas. Watch out. A lot of lady drivers out there.
Yeah, keep those eyes peeled.
Let me read 2 more super chats before they time out. Sorry, guys. Think about what you think about for $2. Thank you very much, friend. Did you wear Mr. Cain, did you wear top hats and monocles at Princeton?
I thought that too when I got there. No, absolutely not. I'll tell you what I loved about Princeton was its tradition and all the history that's there. There's this painting of George Washington during the Revolutionary War at the Battle of Princeton with Nassau Hall, like where we do where our president and everybody is, and all those sorts of things happen in Nassau Hall. And there's a painting with George Washington standing in front of it at the Battle of Princeton. That stuff is pretty cool. So I love that history about it. I love the learning environment. But no monocles. We kind of we might have set them back, a few years while I was there. Myself and some of my boys. We might have done a little damage to that reputation. You wouldn't have thought we were the top hat and monocled crowd. I promise you.
Okay. Now, what years were you at Princeton?
84 to 88. Graduated 88.
That's the sweet spot right there.
It was pretty big.
That's
nice.
Big trouble. That's big trouble right
18
there.
was the drinking age, so we showed up. And we had freshman week where we're meeting everybody, and it's a kegger. Why not?
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's what it's kind of supposed to be in college.
Wow.
Oh man,
yeah, it's so fun now.
Now,
good Lord, my son's a senior at High Point University in North Carolina, HBU, right there. They have a little bit of fun though. They managed to have some good fun there.
Sure.
And he's having a wonderful time. That's a great school. God, family, country school. American flags everywhere.
How dare you, sir?
No reason to fight against patriotism. It's wonderful.
What?
Nice.
All right, our friend Shanth here. To your, I guess our right here. He was a professor at RISD, right, and one other school.
Yep.
Teaching illustration.
I was a senior critic there, and then I was a associate professor at a smaller school up in Beverly. But I made it out. I'm all right.
Survived, man.
Yeah.
One day.
It's a very weird thing. I've talked with Gabe about it a ton, where I go, 1 minute we were talking about, as you know, free speech. We were talking about, basic civil liberties. I used to ask my students every semester, whenever they talk politics, I'd say, if nobody in this room can tell me what Article 1 of the Constitution of the United States is, stop talking politics. And they would just be sitting. One day a Canadian got it right. But
Damn
the
it.
thing, it was like jaywalking. Yeah, but it was, the interesting thing about it is that, you know, we've talked about this, when you're around people who have actually lived during our modern times, which have been going on for quite some time. If your wife is white and you go into an environment and people say you've got to teach these students that there's something evil about being white, or teach them things like, which is what they were saying. I had students tell me they were told that as white students, when they talked in class, they were silencing other voices. And I tried to picture, and this is the thing people don't think about. I tried to picture it's not hard to do, what my wife would do if she was in a room and somebody said that about me. I have the same reaction. And I'm like, I actually said one of my last year's teaching, I went, this is evil. If someone tells you this is evil.
Yeah.
Period. Full stop.
100%. No question. Look, one thing I never talk about, for me, is like my parents, my dad, and my grandparents on my Japanese side were interred in World War II. In the Minidoka internment camp in Idaho, about 45 minutes away from where I am a reserve police officer. I didn't know that until somebody was being a sleuth on the internet and let me know, because I never had any contact with that part of my family. You think about those things, I don't think of them being as victims. I think it was a bad time in our history, something we shouldn't have done, but I don't think of them as victims. I don't think Jericho's running around. He doesn't seem like the type of guy running around saying, call me a victim. I mean,
get a beer in him, get a beer or two in him.
A half a beer, just a sip.
He starts there.
Just pass it under his nose.
Yeah, I'll start talking.
But I just think, you know, that victim card that we're putting out there all the time, and like, you know, my two godkids they're mixed race, black, white mix, and the last thing in the world I'll ever let them try to pretend that they are in any way, shape, or form is a victim. Yeah. And I don't understand that mentality these days. And
no way, we're all lottery winners here as American citizens. Are you
Hell
kidding
yeah.
me?
Yes, we are.
My dad is from Tripoli, Libya. If I was born there, I guarantee you I wouldn't be doing this.
No.
You'd be doing it for the government if you did.
I might not be alive. They killed my grandpa and my dad's friends. I might not be around. So, geez.
People don't understand that.
You know what's even worse, Dean, than people who are victims are, because even though your family went through that, they might even come out of it not seeing themselves as victims. Like you said, it was a low point, a stain on our history, and we do our best to not ever repeat that again. But there are people out there who will be offended for you.
Yes.
You don't know you're a victim. No. You are a victim. I will be your advocate. Be quiet. I will be your advocate. You are a victim. Let me help you out.
Jericho? Those are my least favorite type of person.
Yep. Worst ones.
Yeah.
Man. Did you get our sympathy card, Jericho, once for some Black Lives Matter?
A friend of mine, because he grew up in the Bay Area, Berkeley, San Francisco. Oh, I mean, just in the taint of California. And
you know what? We're done. That's the greatest thing that could have been said. There's nothing we say will top that.
It's true.
That's
and somebody wrote him a card like expressing their apologizing for being white and what was done. Yeah. And, you know, my heart goes out to you for being born black. And he doesn't see himself.
So insulting, by the way.
He is so successful, owns a house in Mexico and here in California. But despite all that, no, you are a lowly little victim.
The day after,
go choose which house you want to go to of yours. And you know which money you want to, which vat of money you want to bathe in today.
No, victim,
adulation, and
victim.
Understand though, right? Is we were talking about Michael Jordan. Remember this? I think it was last week, and we were saying, do people understand now, at the very least, that he's the Muhammad Ali of basketball? Like, he transcends the sport, and all of us have the same thing. Be like Mike, if I could be like Mike. There were three Mikes in the 80s. Tyson, Jackson, and Jordan. And we were like, that was everything. That's who we looked up to. Right. These people don't understand, man.
Two black guys and one white guy.
Idea. Yep. I know, that's right. No,
depending on the decade.
No, sir.
He is murdering it. That's so good.
Oh, God.
So
depending
good.
on the
decade.
decade.
It was three black guys. I'm just saying.
It did.
It did.
We got into the late 80s. You know,
two black guys and a white guy.
Allow me to sip this Sprite.
Yeah, watch out for that Pepsi though. You won't catch your hair on fire, buddy. So, real quick, let me read a few more of these. Kaji, I don't know how to say that. Sorry, buddy. For 2, I'm sorry, I meant Lois and Clark earlier. I think
that's all right. Perfect. That's perfect. Thank you. Thank you.
217. Do you know 217 off the top of your head, or do you not?
That's gonna be second season, episode 217, second season, 17th episode. Nope.
No. Okay.
But I'll tell you, it's getting close. It's getting close to where she's figuring out that he is Superman. They're getting really hot and heavy. Some stuff is going on.
Ooh.
So,
do you
marry him on
is the title of the episode?
Have you watched it?
Have I watched
all the old episodes?
Not for a long time, but people will post like things on YouTube or on Twitter. They'll post a scene, and I'll watch some of them. And the memories come flooding. Right? I mean, I know the lines. I remember the day. I remember what it smelled like. I remember how Terry kissed me. What?
Yeah.
Wait.
Did you tell me you met? Was it Nicolas Cage or someone? And you were like,
"Damn, Sean!
No, you killed him again."
Damn.
Man, that almost made me spit up my water. So that was close.
Will be missed.
R.I.P. Man.
I'm sorry, Sean, but she has really soft lips. That's all you got to know.
Oh, does she smell like honeysuckle?
Yeah. If honeysuckle smelled like heaven, I mean, it's just whatever. It's what
Don't, Sean, don't, man, don't.
Don't.
Tomorrow, Sean's wife is going to say. Tomorrow, Sean's wife is going to ask him, why are all these fist-sized holes in your wall?
Son of a bitch.
He's going to ask Sean, why did you throw away your Dean Cain poster?
These are tears of joy, guys.
I gotta catch up on the chats. I'm sorry, guys. Real quick. Zippy the Unicorn, one of the funniest guys I've seen on YouTube. Would you be up for playing Superman in a Kingdom Come film?
Hell yes.
Okay, you do know what that is.
Hell yes. Old Superman, whipping ass.
Yeah, that's right. And then our buddy Joe Mello, guess who's back?
Again.
He's back. Dean Cain is in for a real treat with this channel. Looking forward to the laughs. Yes, yeah, we have a lot of goofball fun here. Yeah, Arnold already showed up. Who knows? Lord Benson, the horse, might show up. We never know.
Dude.
You never know. Anything can happen, guys. I don't make the rules.
We could create a new character. Well, actually, a new character could be born. We never create them.
Right.
They're just they just happen.
They just happen. They hatch. It happens.
Right.
They do.
That's true. I thought I saw one more scanning for it. Okay, here. Let's see. Zippy again for 5. Thank you, Zippy. Thanks for being in Gosnell. Right, an important film. What prep work did you do for the Perfect Husband film? Did you study any specific acting technique? Thanks.
Yes. Well, first of all, Gosnell was that's a story about Kermit Gosnell, the abortion clinic doctor out of Philadelphia that probably murdered 1,000 babies. He went to jail for doing for 3 for triple homicide and 1 involuntary manslaughter. Just awful. He was performing abortions, late-term abortions on kids and on young women from the hood in Philadelphia, and inducing birth and snipping their spinal cord. And it was a real story. So that was a tough one to do. We caught a lot of heat for telling the story, though, too. They were calling it an anti-abortion film, and it wasn't. It was just literally telling the story. But it was horrific, and he's in jail forever. He should be. I hope he stays there.
Bury him under the jail, that guy. Get out of here with that guy.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's just it. He literally still doesn't think he did anything wrong, but that's just.
Well,
I'll come up with some creative ways to.
Yeah, we can. I mean, there are people who will help him out. What was the second part of that question? I'm sorry, I forgot that.
Let me scroll back. I scrolled way further.
And I had it.
There was something about A Perfect Husband. Let me find.
Yeah. So the Perfect Husband. So I played Scott Peterson.
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a thing. So
another beauty. A San Diego original. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So Modesto first, and then down to San Diego.
Right.
They caught him at the Torrey Pines golf course, and so I go down there to shoot this. By the way, where did they put me to stay? Torrey Pines. I was like, what?
There's a little too method right here.
Someone go get me. Part of my concern playing the role, so they offered it to me, and I see why they offered it to me. He and I look very similar. And then I turned it down, and they offered it to me again. I turned it down. They offered it to me again. I was like, dang it, they're just not stopping. And I called my dad. My dad's a director. directed Young Guns and The Principal, and that was then. This is now. And Dad's awesome. He adopted me when I was 4, farm boy from South Dakota. So his advice is always very farm boy from South Dakota advice. And I was telling him, Dad, they keep offering me this role, Scott Peterson. And, my agent was concerned they'd be chasing me down the street with a pitchfork and, because he was hated, but he hadn't been found guilty. So I said, they keep offering it to me and I keep turning it down, keep offering it to me. And he just listens, doesn't say anything. And he goes, do you think you could be good in it? And I said, actually, yeah, I think I could be really good in it. I look like him, a lot like him. And he goes, are you an actor? And I said, yes, sir. And I think he hung up. And I took the role. I think that's about it. So, that's a dad thing. And he's right, And so the first thing I shot in that thing was Scott Peterson did an interview with Diane Sawyer. And I try not to ape somebody and just mimic them on screen, but I watched all of his interviews and such. And that one, I just decided to just do what he did. And it was the first thing.
Not literally.
I literally was like, even the pauses and everything that he did, I did. I mimicked him. But it was so odd because that was written, it took place like in the middle of the film. But they started the movie with it because it was so close. It was so weird. I did the thing and it was dead silent, and cut, and everybody was just uncomfortable, and it was just they were like,
nailed it.
That was so close. And then when I watched it back, and I was like, oh gosh.
Did you kind of were you able to look at crime scene photos and that kind of stuff? Did they really let you?
No, not on that one. Gosnell, yes, and that was the worst. Because I was talking on Gosnell, I said to my director, Nick Searcy, I said, Nick, we're shooting this, this stuff in this abortion clinic. And I was like, are we overdoing it a little bit? There's orange bags of, fetuses over here. There's cats running around. I'm like, dude, seriously, what are we doing? And he's like, I go, are we overdoing it, Nick? Come on. He goes, really? And he pulls up his phone and he shows me the actual footage. And it was exactly the same. And it was so gross, so terrible. Alfonso Rachel was played my partner on that thing too, and we were both just we were just very, very, very uncomfortable with that and seeing that. But on Lacey Peterson, that story, the Scott Peterson deal, didn't see anything. In fact, we started shooting when they started their pretrial hearings. So the first day of our shooting was the first day of pretrial hearings. So he wasn't guilty yet. There was evidence we were discovering as we were filming. So we had to be very careful not to convict him. And I honestly didn't think they were going to convict him. Given the actual evidence, and it was all circumstantial at the time because they hadn't discovered the body. They hadn't, found all that stuff. They knew where he went and what he said he did. And they knew he had the affair with Amber Frey. So to the question that was asked, did I do any special preparation? I watched his interviews, and his interviews were just basically being a bad actor. Seriously, It's like, you have the things you're supposed to say, and you know what you're trying to say. It's like having an interview on a news station. You kind of know the things you want to say and get out there. So regardless of the question they asked, he would just bumble around and say the things he wanted to say. And so to prepare for the role, I just had to be a bad actor. And I thought I had that down pretty well.
All right.
Well, I had a clip that I was sharing with them. We were taking the clips of you playing. I took a clip of you playing with Princeton, of course, and then the clip from Lois and Clark, just the opening stuff. But the scene where you and Denzel have the face-to-face, man.
Ooh.
That clip, watching any actor hang with Denzel, which puts people in a group with Gary Oldman, Gene Hackman, these are people watching you in that role. I was like, damn, that was amazing, man. That was
the audition scene, and it was so well written we didn't rehearse it.
Jeez.
Damn.
Yeah. I'll click play. Is there? I don't know if there'll be sound. There's a funny thing with StreamYard with not playing sound on other windows, but I'm not sure if there'll be sound. So sorry.
And I hope there is.
And if he did that, then
Yep.
I'd go up to him, look him in his eye, and I'd say, "Just come near her again, and I'll kill you." Chris, wow.
talking to the wrong guy, Chris, because as a police officer, I can't let you go around threatening people's lives. I mean, if you're serious, then I would be obligated to do something about it.
Really?
That's right. Thanks for the bid and the conversation.
Thanks for listening.
Okay.
Ooh, I like the little wink there. Like a little.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Wow.
And the tension building in that movie, like when he was running around putting out all these fires and he's supposed to be here and they're calling the phone and they're coming to pick up the money and the agents, all that shit, man, that was, wire to wire. That was a great movie. And you more than hung with them,
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Again, I
great,
think he's
man.
the greatest. Even at the end of that, when we cut out right there, last thing he says, because he's sleeping with my wife. Last thing he says is, "Yeah, he's sleeping with my wife," and that's what that confrontation is about. But we never say it.
Mm-hmm.
See, hold on. You think when you look like Dean Cain, no one can touch your woman, and then a guy that looks like Denzel comes along.
Damn it.
Fuck, man.
That charming SOB.
There's always someone.
Right.
So he's sleeping with my wife, and I know it. And I basically tell him, "Look, if you had the balls to say it to my face, I'd kill you." And he's like, "Yeah, well, that's that whole scene is about." But at the end, he says, after that, he goes, "Give Ann my best, if you can."
Oh.
If you can was not written, and he throws that at me as he walks out, and my reaction, so it was real. Like, you son of a bitch, you would say that to me.
Oh, man.
So that's what. So, but Denzel made me better every scene by doing stuff like that, and I bless him, thank him for being such a gifted actor and such a giving actor. It was awesome. And because of him, I was better in that movie. Just because of him being that. And Carl Franklin, great director. They did Devil in a Blue Dress with him as well. And
another good one.
And, yeah, so Carl is phenomenal. The whole bunch was great. I loved being a part of that movie. And I couldn't make a living on that because Denzel got paid $20 million, and I think I got $45 or something like that.
Okay.
Because and Denzel
you got a free lunch. You got a free
he
lunch.
deserved the money, man. I did it for the honor of working with Denzel. That's it.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, nailed it, man. That was great.
Yeah. I just want to acknowledge in the chat, I don't know who he's talking to here. My brother, Abraham El Fayed, my older
What up,
brother.
Abe?
So yeah.
I like his
Abe,
avatar.
yeah. Oh, Abe is a Superman guy. My brother loves Superman. So
He's got good taste.
Yeah. So good. Hello, Abe. My brother's an oil rig worker guy, hardworking.
Oh
man.
my gosh.
So, yeah.
Damn,
He
making
is
it
a
all
stud.
possible.
Yeah. Yeah. He
Seriously.
makes all the shit work for us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Abe.
Right on it.
Good looking out.
Yes.
So he's a good dude. So okay, so we talked about Little Angels. So that you're trying to get a distribution deal on that.
Yep.
God willing, it'll come in soon.
It's happening.
What?
It's coming.
Right. And then we had did you want to talk about No Vacancy a little bit? Let me see.
No Vacancy's coming out. No Vacancy's coming out very soon. It's already been out. So we had a Fathom event. It's been out in theaters and stuff like that. Now it's coming out on all the digital platforms. That's a great faith-based movie, and it deals with the thing about No Vacancy is it deals with homeless crisis and helping them out, and it's a true story. T.C. Stallings plays this character, Cecil Johnson. Sean Young plays this reporter. Great film, and it deals with a hand up, giving people who need it a hand up, not a hand out, and it's pretty amazing. It's got an ending kind of like It's a Wonderful Life, which is one of my favorite movies in the whole world.
Oh, we love
And
that.
Might be my favorite movie. Love
it. Is
that.
Yeah.
Might
When you
be my
really need
favorite.
it and the community comes together to help you out, that happens in this film, and it's just awesome.
Oh, it's Sean Young of Ace Ventura.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Blade Runner.
Finkel and Einhorn.
Yeah, Einhorn and Finkel. Einhorn's a man.
Einhorn's a man.
Real quick, I definitely want to get back to No Vacancy, but it seems like I messed something up. Zippy sent that super chat, and I guess he wanted to know specifically, is there a specific acting technique that you've ever studied? I'm sorry, Zippy, if I'm getting this wrong. I thought we addressed it, but
I thought I did. I thought I was trying to go with for him. I was just trying to be a bad actor to play Scott Peterson.
Okay, maybe he meant just in general acting and everything you do. I don't know.
I did study. I did study the Meisner method.
Okay.
But a lot of what I do is I'm able to sort of substitute real life experiences into some of the things where it's a little bit more emotional or things like that. Being a father really opened me up to that, because you're so vulnerable as a parent that if anything happens to your child, there's just so that it turned me into a much better actor having a kid and being much more vulnerable.
Well, there you go, Zippy. Thank you. Sorry for that, buddy. Okay, back to No Vacancy. So it's about the homeless crisis and giving people a hand up. And you live in LA. You live in LA. I live in San Diego. Jericho lives in the Bay Area.
Yeah, we see some homeless.
We got some homeless.
Yeah,
people
one or two.
Yeah.
But again, this is the thing is, so in this film, it's about getting a hand up. It's one thing to get a hand out. You give people something for free and it's nothing. It doesn't help them. It doesn't allow them to better themselves. So in this project, it really happened. This took place. Pastor Cliff Lee, they wanted to buy this motel and use it as sort of a bridge to bridge the gap of homelessness for these people. But like Cecil Johnson, T.C. Stallings' character, comes in and he gets a hand up and he turns into a really valuable member of this ministry. And what he does is incredible. And the number of lives he's able to touch as a result, it's just incredible. So that's the difference. It's like giving him self-worth, giving him human, some self-respect and finding his worth in this world. And it's one thing if you just gave him a free room, well, then he's just going to go do his thing after he sobers up,
Yep.
And so it really made him a part of the community. It was a wonderful story, and it's true. It's all based on a true story.
Yeah, there was this something that happened recently called lockdowns, and they took hotels in San Francisco and they forced the hotels to have X amount of rooms for homeless people. So they figured, well, if you bring these homeless people into nice surroundings, when they cross the threshold of the door, they're magically just going, whoa, I don't need meth anymore, or whatever they're dealing with. Turns out they just brought the party inside.
There it is.
In the rooms, all kinds of crazy shit like that. So yeah, throwing money at the problem, handouts will never help. But if you teach somebody, the whole, if you, teach a man to fish, that way they can sustain themselves and they're just up and running on their own, and they don't return to, a place where they needed the hand up or handout in the first place.
That's it. You teach a man to fish, you'll feed him forever. You give him a fish, he'll eat for the night.
Well, it's a funny little thing about solving a problem the incorrect way, like Jericho's describing. When I was a kid, I remember looking at a fire extinguisher, and the instructions on it said, spray at the base of the flames, not at high up. And I feel like putting the homeless in the hotel and letting them do whatever, you're just addressing the symptom, not the cause. It's like they're just going to keep doing drugs. And
you just turn that fire extinguisher away and shoot the wall.
You know what's crazy? We have a super liberal mayor in San Diego for that. It's a red city, but we have a liberal mayor. And he said even he's going to take, I guess, without, their consent, basically the mentally ill homeless and make them go to mental institutions here in San Diego. That
sounds good.
Many on the streets. I agree with it. I'm all for it. They're sick and dying like that. It's heartbreaking to watch.
Oh, it's going to get worse. The number of people who are dying on the streets is just going to keep increasing and increasing.
It's terrible.
We have 30% of the nation's homeless in California.
Yeah,
because we have great weather and our policies attract them.
Yeah.
If you did something that incentivized them to get off the streets and clean them up and get into programs that could help detox them and get them on the road and give them an avenue to do something, those numbers I think would drastically decrease.
Yeah, but they pay them in a lot of cases. They literally pay them to stay homeless. If you have a chemical dependency and somebody keeps electronically reloading your card and giving you free food, I mean. I saw a video. A lady was like, "Yeah, you get up, you get high, you go get something to eat, come back and get high, get something to eat." One dude was in his little tent with Netflix.
Jericho, that was us talking. That was
damn. My bad. That was just FaceTiming with Sean.
Yeah, that was a private conversation.
Watching Netflix, man.
That was just another FaceTime.
Kids, if
with
you're
Sean.
watching, Daddy, it was a joke. Yeah, let me just. Yeah. So the thing is, go ahead, Jericho. Sorry, I was.
But these people are literally being paid to. I mean, and it's and their cards are EBT cash, not just food. So you hit an ATM, hey, Mr. Drug Dealer, I'll be right there. So
Jeez.
you can't really blame people for taking the path of least resistance.
I remember seeing a report like 3-4 years ago. It was like California welfare, like misspending. And one of the items that stuck out to me on there was this sounds made up, but I'm almost certain I'm correct. It was like $100 million spent by people on like that stuff, going to like strip clubs and casinos like in Las Vegas. They were going out of California on vacation, and welfare booty they're paying for, I guess.
And just thanking you when they cash that check.
When you could at least spend it on California strippers.
I mean, at least money in the state.
Damn.
Right.
Right.
Come on.
Hey, one other thing that I do also, by the way, I started working this year. This is off the subject completely. I love Johnny Truth saying there.
I had to throw that up. I thought that was
that's great. I mean, I'll tell you what, that moral compass is, I try to live that moral compass still. I do believe in truth, justice, and the American way. And when I talk about the American way, people always like, what's the American way? It starts with individualism, the power and the safety of an individual, protect the rights of the individual. It talks about competition, fair competition, allow people to compete fairly. That doesn't mean, because you're Japanese or you're Mexican or you're black or you're Libyan or whatever you are, you don't get an extra shit in the game. Compete fairly. It's about equality of opportunity, not equity, not outcome, opportunity. It's a meritocracy. You work it. And if you do really well, you become wealthy and you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor, and you can buy a property of your own, own it yourself, share it with your family, and share that wealth. And that's what it's all about. That to me is the American way. So if people ask that question, there's my answer. But what I was talking about, as I started this year, because of what's going on with our current government and the wasteful spending and the numbers that are going up and all the inflation that's killing everybody. Joe Biden said, I'm not going to tax anybody who makes under $400,000 a year, but inflation is a tax on everybody.
Yep.
And my sister, she worked for me back in the day. It's a dang thing flying around here. I keep trying to catch it and I don't get it. And I started a 401k for her. And she said to me the other day, she's like, my 401k lost 20% of its value. I said, yeah, welcome to inflation. Welcome to rising, costs. And so I started working with a group called Genesis Gold Group.
That's right.
So that's a group that I love these guys. They're fantastic. It's precious metals. There's a thing they have. He gave me this $20 gold piece. And he said and it was, I think it was 1824. It's pretty cool. So I love history. And I'm like, this, I have it. It's sitting over there. But he said, back in the day, this $20 gold piece could buy you the nicest suit, tailor-made, top-notch suit. Today, or you could have spent $20 on it, a $20 bill. But today, that same gold piece could still buy you a $3,500 suit. But the $20 buys you, Starbucks. Yeah. And that's it. The difference between cash and the precious metals is huge. So these guys are great. So if anybody's worried about that sort of stuff, check out Genesis Gold Group. They're as they sound. They're wonderful folks, and they will guide you well. There we go. Those are my folks.
Before I throw the link in, I want to make sure this was the right website.
That's it.
I'm gonna throw the link in, guys. I know that there's stuff like this, like accounting and saving 401ks, it's a little boring to think about. But once you buy a house and you have kids and wife, like, this shit gets really exciting. Me and my wife bought silver and different things like that. And it's funny, you're young and sexy and dating, and then 20-something years later, you're like, how much gold should we buy? Do we have enough canned potatoes in the pantry? Like,
hey man,
batteries and water.
I'll say it like it is. I'm a prepper. I got water from 3 months here. I got food for 4 months for 10 people. I'm prepared for all that stuff. I'm gonna say I'm a police officer, so I happen to have weapons. And those sorts of things. That's just how I am, man. Be prepared, be vigilant, be prepared to help your neighbors out and your family and everybody else. And don't depend on the government for everything. Because if you study history, which I have, government's about the biggest perpetrator of the ills that you could ever ask for.
Yeah. Why would the government ever lie to us, Mr. Cain? They love us. Don't you know?
You couldn't tell me one situation where the federal government lied to us, say, in the last 5 years.
Yeah.
Find me one.
Well, I can find you 100,000.
Easy.
Yep. And that's just it. I like things that are going on now. I like the fact that Elon Musk took over Twitter and things are coming out and people are talking about stuff. I love all that. The answer for me is not less conversation. It's more conversation. So challenge my views. Come on to it. Let's go. Everybody got mad at me for talking about the the Jonathan Kent, the young Superman being the LGBTQ, whatever he was, dating a
come on, man.
Thing. And I was like, no, you're not groundbreaking. It's not groundbreaking. It's not bold in 2022 is when it happened. And then that thing got canceled.
Right.
How'd that happen, Gabe?
Did you know, I thought you knew some super handsome artist that worked on that very book.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't call him super handsome is a bit, I mean,
no. You're right. Devastatingly handsome.
Yeah. And he dyes his beard sometimes.
Yes.
Ew.
But
he noticed. Adrian, my wife, Adrian.
Come in, honey. Come in.
It's so funny. When you were talking about faith-based films, a film I just watched a couple of days ago, and I was kind of curious what your experience was working on it, was Glass Walls.
Well, see, there's the thing about that is people don't understand that the pastor burnout is a real thing. Mm-hmm. So if you spend any time, and pastors are human, man. You're a pastor and you're preaching to your flock, so to speak, but those guys are very human and they're fallible, and girls and guys, and they make human mistakes. And so that's one of the things. Glass Walls was too much talking for my like. I was like, man, these guys, we're just talking so long in that. But it's very important, I think, to look at them and understand. It's just like a police officer. They're human. Pastors are human, all fallible. We all make mistakes. We all sin. We all screw up. And it's try to give everybody the benefit of the doubt. And know that, that there's nobody on earth who is not fallible, and share and talk about that with everybody else. And I think that's sort of a route to getting better for all of us and improving. I mean, that was, the stuff. One of the weird things that we didn't really get into in Glass Walls but we talked about is there are one of the weird things, and I don't talk about it much there. My character loves Christmas. I'll explain.
Where can I get that jacket?
I got it, Gabe. You're just gonna have to come over and let me buy you dinner, and then put you in that jacket.
Put you in it.
Yeah.
Put you in that jacket and only
put you in that jacket.
Yeah. Oh, I'll be Porky Pigging it in that jacket.
Yeah.
Baby.
No, don't.
Hey, man, you press a button and it lights up. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what she's
lights up.
Ew.
But so a lot of pastors, like, one of the biggest problems they have with pastor burnout is a lot of them, and I forget one of these characters talks about it, is a porn addiction. And you're like, what? That doesn't make sense. But yeah, it exists. It's part of the deal. So it's an interesting film. It's a thinker. Put your thinking cap on and realize that these pastors are just fallible human beings like everybody else.
Dudes.
You had a great scene in there with the ice cream sundaes, and watching the two pastors struggle to know what to do with the ice cream. Is it a trap? I was crying, man.
You just eat the damn thing.
Eat it, you fool.
You idiots.
Classic. It was great.
Sue Dexter, the lovely Sue Dexter, for $1.99. Thank you, Sue. Very generous.
Thank you, Sue.
The movie Traffic has a proper message. I don't know that movie, Dean. I have to admit it.
Traffic is a film about trafficking, human trafficking.
Ooh.
And like I play a character who's a former military guy who got kind of drummed out. But if your kid goes missing, and it's really important because when I shot this movie, I wasn't a police officer, but now I am. And what I work on, one of the things I work on is Crimes Against Children. Crimes Against Children Foundation is the foundation I work with. I work with the Internet Crimes Against Children, the ICAC divisions at different departments, and we deal with, sex trafficking, human trafficking, targeting children online, targeting children on video games, all that sort of stuff. They're on your phones. My 12-year-old god kids, my niece, I'm so careful with them because you've got these predators who now can be in their room, and they're in their room because they're on their phone. And if you're a parent, you're not paying attention. This can happen. It happens in this film. A girl meets a cute boy and wants to go meet this boy, and the guy takes her out for a date. Parents don't know anything about it. She sneaks out and gets trafficked, and is delivered to some bad guys. And they take her and traffic her, and they get her addicted to drugs, and they pimp her out. And I play a character who is a little unscrupulous, but if your kid is gone and you think he's being trafficked, he's the guy you hire to get him back. And so I bust a little ass, and I'm able to get this kid back. But it was it's a scary reality that is too real that people don't take seriously enough.
Yeah, all of us are fathers here, and it's YouTube, so I won't say directly, but I think we all know how we feel when we hear about people hurting kids. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Ooh, let's do a
Yeah.
fun little thing. I'll zoom in on each one of you, and since we can't say on YouTube, we can just give the look into the camera how we feel about it. That's how I feel. Shant, how do you feel about it when you hear it? Yeah. Whoa. Let me get off of that. How do you feel, Jericho? Right? I see the eyebrows. Dino? Exactamundo. That's all we got to say.
Yeah, wood chipper.
Because YouTube's wimpy, but
wood chipper's a great idea.
I had lunch last year with an assistant district attorney in the area, and he focuses on same as you, the child, the internet child sex crimes and the cyber stuff. And one of the things that he told me, a couple of things he told me were just jaw-dropping, but two of the things he told me that were really crazy is that you'll have in California specifically, they have a law now where if you get convicted of something, let's say you get 10 years. So now that gives them the ability to say, we're tough on crime. I gave that guy a decade, but under the new law, that time is automatically cut in half. So now it's just 5 years. And then that 5 years gets split in half. So 2.5 years, he only has to serve 2.5 years in custody. That other 2.5 years, he's free in public under supervised parole. But the parole officer has a caseload of 900 people. There's not enough time. If he didn't sleep, there's not enough time for him to watch over these people properly and check in on them and monitor them. And we're leaving the restaurant. And he got a page from one of his investigators that one of those guys who was supposed to be under strict supervision just picked up 21 new charges. So that's 21 new kids that he was in contact with via the internet. And the other thing he told me that was even worse somehow was the parents are in 3 camps when he has to show them redacted documents or pictures of, is this your kid? And the parents are either, my kid doesn't even have a phone. I don't allow that. This is the wrong kid. You're barking up the wrong tree. Then they show him a picture and they're like, oh yeah, that's our guest bedroom. That is my kid. Parent number 2 is, we monitor them. There's no way they could do it. We're always checking their phone and we're watching them. And they still somehow slip through the cracks because they're probably not being truthful. And the third camp are parents that don't even care. Parents that won't return his call. Parents that won't return his email. Parents that pick up the phone and say, fuck off, leave me alone. When he's coming to them with evidence that something happened to their child or they were in contact with a monster. And some parents don't even care. So that last group we mentioned, wood chipper, right?
Yep.
But I think they have some competition, because if somebody comes to you with evidence of something like that happened to your kid and you're like, whatever, we're going to have to get you in line for that wood chipper treatment, that wood chipper therapy as well.
100% true. 100% true. And I'm glad you touched on that, Jericho, because it's 100% real. I mean, that caseload that these parole agents have to deal with, forget it. Not
Unreal.
And then the recidivism rate for sexual predators is like 100%. They're always going to do it. They don't get better. This is that they just bide their time and find the next way in or out. We'll create a profile. I'm a 13-year-old boy. My parents suck. I like these things. I'm confused about blah, blah, blah. 20 minutes. We got 20 hits, 30 hits. All the time. We do it all the time.
Ugh.
Crazy. So, and I watch my kid like a hawk. I try to watch my god kids like a hawk. I say, if I don't have your passwords, if I pick this up, now my kid's 22. Plus he's a jiu-jitsu fighter. So I kind of let him slide.
It's harder. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got to speak up on him now.
Yeah, I gotta hit him with something first.
My son is 24 and he's thin and ripped and all that. You guys have seen him on here. And but I can still beat him up because you've met me, Dean. I'm a
man strength. You're a big boy.
But my son, we are so into UFC. I showed you before we were at the fight. That's like the 5th one we've gone to. We go boys trip Vegas like 2-3 days just to do that. It's so much fun. I don't know if I can still beat him up, dude. He shows me boxing moves. He can kick and everything. Like I don't know what I'm
gonna
do.
sneak up on him, man.
I'm gonna have to start taking a class too.
Yeah, I'll send you this link I got for chloroform. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I got you.
No, he's the best boy in the world.
Beat him with the
I
mind.
told all three of you. He bought me a truck for Christmas. He's the best boy in the world.
A
I'm gonna
good
tell
kid.
my kid didn't buy me a truck.
Yeah. So
Straighten that out.
Yeah.
I got a card, but they
Family
spelled my
meeting.
name wrong.
Yeah.
Carmen spelled your name wrong.
Yeah. But
They
no, I love
outsourced
my
it.
kids. They're the best. My daughter, Minnie, she's doing stand-up right now tonight. She's that great stand-up.
Oh
comedian.
yes.
Shout
Does
out
he
to
imagine
Minnie.
somebody doing those things to your children? Wood chip.
No,
Yep.
because then I
Me
instantly
first.
think I think of me doing things that I won't.
and then the
say
wood
on
chipper.
YouTube.
That's fine as long as they end
Yeah, as long as it ends
Everybody
up.
has a dream
in the
job,
wood
and I
chipper,
know
I'm
this
fine.
job will come for me one day. I've applied for Jericho when he becomes ruler, that I could be his #1 wood chipper guy, and I want you guys to know with a smile on my face. Like
Yeah.
I need you guys to
You'll
know.
wake up whistling as you get ready.
I
for
know. They'll go, man. You know, Sean. He's always in a good mood.
This guy
Like, yeah.
always has a
Do what
smile.
you
I
love.
like it.
Never work a day in your life.
Ah, I love it.
That's right. I'm a
love it.
firm believer in outsourcing our punishment because Western society doesn't have the stomach for the things that some of these people deserve. So we find a country, where a lot of people are barefoot, where they do a lot of mining by hand, and send them over there. We'll trade you. You take 1,000 of our monsters. We'll take one of your like MIT, brainiac people in our country, and it'll be a lottery. But I think
like it.
some things that people do, our society just can't handle it. But there needs to be punishment somewhere along the line. Rehab's out the door. We need to biblical. I mean, go way back,
Right.
way back. Let's spin the wheel. Let's see what medieval, the
Bill.
rack or something, because that's the only way to get through to people. That's the only
Right.
way to get through and send a clear message. and stop
Anyone that
this.
hurts a kid is a subhuman, and they don't understand.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like unthinkable things should be done to them. With a
You heard my kid. I'm gonna call Jericho and be like, "What's that third thing you said?"
Gotcha.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna try that now.
Try it out.
Yeah.
Law-abiding citizen type shit.
Just put me into it. I've got a clean record. I'll come out there. I got a wood that I can push down a little bit. I'm ready to rock and roll.
Yeah.
It's kind
real-
of like you'll dry martini in one hand.
It sounds like people are trying to super chat to ask you questions, and the super chats aren't working. But Tammy A, I think she might be one of the Twitter people. I'm not sure that we always see. My sister loves you, as do I. Could you do a shout out to my sister, Trisha?
Trisha.
Trisha.
I'm gonna go with Trisha. I don't know where Trisha came from, but she's not Lebanese, man.
Sounds like a flower.
Trisha. No, Trisha. Trisha. Hi, Trisha.
I'll do the rest of show as Arab guy. I do it this way for you, baby. I do it for you.
Hello,
Shout out to
Trisha.
Trisha.
Can you say it to Trisha and not Trisha? Ooh,
I said it to Trisha. I ignored Trisha. She's that she's a little funky, that Trisha girl. But
Yeah, my
Trisha,
wife's gonna- yeah.
Trisha's cool.
she's all right.
My wife's gonna ask me who Trisha is now.
Oh, you're in
There you
trouble.
go. You got to deal with that, my friend.
Yeah.
Full screen
Arms
on
folded.
Oh. Sorry. Okay, I effed everything up. Do the shout out full screen. That was John's suggestion. Good idea. Can you do it again, Dean? Full screen to Trisha.
Not Trisha. Trisha. Hello, Trisha.
There you go.
Then you
We
got
love
the
you,
full
Trisha.
screen Dean. That's
Full
big.
screen, Dean. I like that.
It's a
That's
lot
big.
of heat right there.
It's getting hot in here, ladies. Yeah. They've all, most of, like, people were saying the super chats aren't working. I think it's because the gals in our chat have fainted.
Right.
I'll go with that.
Yep.
I'll go with that. I'm going back to the chloroform thing, but hopefully that's what it was. The chloroform. Hey, wait, what happened to Point Break? Are we done with Point Break? Or are we going?
No, because I wanted to bring up something in Point Break, and I thought we could bring Arnie back in real quick and ask him a question. Because Dean, you were up for the role of Johnny Utah, but what you didn't know is that Arnie was up for the Patrick Swayze part. You didn't know about that, but I knew.
Did not know that.
And
No idea.
I was
Arnie
wondering
up to Bodie.
if Arnie, could you do a little bit of improv, Dean, here, where you're trying to convince him to go into the bank with you and hold these people up?
Yeah, I think I can do that, dear.
Okay, so in Dean, in this scene, you don't want to do this, right? You're an FBI agent, but they've got your woman. They're going to kill her. They're going to gut her in 3 hours if you don't do it. And Arnie's holding your feet to the fire. How would that go, guys?
Well, first of all, you have to tell him, Dean, come on, get in here. I need you in here with me. Well, don't worry, Dean. I know how you are. You're crafty. You're FBI agent, aren't you? Yeah. But I have an insurance policy. I got your girl here. I'll show you the videotape. He has a knife to her throat. What do you think of that there, Dean?
Arnold, I can't go in there. I'm an FBI agent.
I don't care. You've got to come in here or we're going to kill her.
Let her go, man.
Okay, you convinced me. I'll do it.
He's the dumbest criminal of all time.
You're good.
Okay.
See, that would have been way better. No offense, rest in peace, Patrick Swayze, one of the greatest.
R.I.P.
He's so good in this movie, though. He's great.
Yeah. And some Roadhouse-esque moves when he was helping Johnny fight the guys off at the beach. That was very Roadhouse. Right. I was expecting a throat rip, but he left that in Roadhouse.
He did it was
great.
Did a dance kick or two?
Yeah.
Dance kick or two in there.
Right.
Nice little front kick. Stunts for this thing. He did like 55 jumps.
Yeah.
On that thing, he jumped out of the planes like 55 times, man. He did a lot of his own stunts on this. It was pretty awesome.
Right. It came across
out the plane. I mean, that's for real. You can't fake that one.
Yeah, it came across very natural. And then at the end, where he's in the plane, where he like runs and he's like jumping and saying "go, go, go" when it goes by, that's him at the door, holding the gun. Like he really did that shit, man. And you could tell the shots look great, especially the skydiving. There were a lot of good things about this movie. It definitely had some redeeming qualities. But I think Keanu, he kind of left a little bit to be desired.
Well, he beat me out for it. So what does that say about my acting?
Oh, damn it! It wasn't you. It was them.
That's right.
Yeah, no,
that's my say, Jericho.
Damn it!
It says that Bill and Ted came out. Because let me tell you something. I had no problem with his acting in this film, Keanu's acting, because before this, I was chasing another movie I watched today, which was Bram Stoker's Dracula. And after watching that movie and his British accent, I got to this and it was like, oh, thank God.
Oh my. He was in Bram Stoker's Dracula?
Yeah.
Yes, and he goes,
yeah.
Today, August 25th, I head to Budapest. And I was like, wait a second.
Budapest?
What did you just say?
Wait a second, bro. I think you're going to fight Dracula. All right?
I'm writing this down. I'm going to watch this.
So not Budapest.
Change your life.
Yeah. Yeah, it was, but what a streak he was on. Point Break next year, Bram Stoker's, and they, 93 was Speed? Somewhere around there.
Yep.
He was wrong.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this. I met him before all this. Nicest guy I've ever met. I was working out at like Gold's Gym, whatever. And come out, and he was with somebody else.
With Arnie, with Arnie, no less, at Gold's Gym.
Probably, yes. Arnie was there, and he was like, literally. Yeah. I was like, all right, man, see you later. Nice to meet you, whatever. He's like, hey, have a beautiful day. And I was like, bro, he meant that though. Like that was from the heart. He meant it. I was like, what a good dude. What a nice guy. I mean, it's like super nice guy. So
that's cool to hear because he comes across that way, but you always wonder, like, is that an act for the camera?
Man,
but he comes across that.
Could not have been more of a
and he had like he lost, I think, a girlfriend or something like that to cancer. Like he had life kicked him in the nuts pretty hard for a minute. And I've seen a bunch of pictures, of him like just chilling on the train, video of him like getting up, giving somebody a seat. And I know it shouldn't be weird that because actors obviously they're regular people, but to see him doing regular things for some reason that blows our minds. But by all accounts, Keanu seems to be a cool dude. I'd love to meet him, but in this movie, man, Keanu.
Hey man, I wanted Johnny Utah. I wanted to play Johnny Utah, but I wasn't ready.
But like you said, it would have been different, but I think it would have been a good different because I think you would have it just would have been taken more seriously.
I think it would have been more serious.
Because like in the beginning where he like meets, I can't remember Gary Busey's character.
Oh, I wrote it down. No, I didn't. Yeah, I did. What are Busey's name? Pappas.
Yeah, he was a real Greek name. Yeah,
he meets Pappas, and then the next day, like they're having this heart to heart, come to Jesus moment about, dude, do you still want to be an agent or what? And he's like, I was in Nam. I was like, you just met this dude, and you're like,
that was actually the first night. That was the first night.
Yeah.
You're bearing your soul to this punk.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
taking
But
shrapnel in Saigon when you were wiping boogers or something.
You're
like
mad
that.
right now. You're angry. Well, at least you feel something.
Yeah,
I just saw it. I saw it.
Doesn't it feel good, dude?
Doesn't it feel
Yeah.
good? Yeah.
Dude, it feels radical to be mad, man.
Oh, and if you're a fan of woohoo, you are going to love this movie because every other scene, driving crazy on the highway, skydiving, surfing, playing football on the beach, and all that, dude.
Football on the beach.
I mean, this movie was special. Am I putting it in the time capsule to open 100 years from now? Why not?
Agreed.
Why not?
Agreed.
I think the movie is great because it is over the top. It is that's the point of the movie. Is everything is exaggerated. Everything is turned up a bunch. You know?
And the supporting actors, John C. McGinley, the screaming, the yelling, screaming captain who ends up getting his just desserts at the end. You know, the two other agents who are like assholes, like following him around the crime scenes and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, man, it had the girl, you know, his love interest. I can't remember her name.
Tank girl.
Man, Tank Girl. She was everywhere in the 90s. She was just, you need that little cute, down home girl, kind of funky, you know, may have like a ring in her face somewhere. That's
where we got that great saying, young, dumb, and full of cum.
That's another thing. The one-liners. We were running around the playground.
He's a great guy.
School.
McGinley's a great guy.
He is. Scrubs. I love his range. He was great in Scrubs. He did a movie with Martin Lawrence called Nothing to Lose. And he played like this grimy street dude. Him and his partner were like, you know, push an old lady down and, you know, grab a kid's lollipop out of his hand, you know, and eat it. Just assholes. And he played that one great. And like I said, Scrubs with the comedy. John C. McGinley's great.
Platoon.
Yeah.
He was amazing in Platoon. Great. Fantastic. He is solid. He's a really solid dude. He's got a little girl who plays soccer with my niece too. So he's out there at the soccer games with me. So I see him all the time. He lives he lives in the house that I grew up for a lot of my life in. He bought that house way back in the day.
Yeah, he's cool, man. There's another.
I also whipped his ass on American Gladiators.
Oh, really?
Did you say that out loud, dude?
I did. I'm sorry, John. I love you, man. But
American Gladiators, that show was the shit, man.
That was.
But now it would be like a bunch of like Ku Klux trans members, and everyone would have a bulge. Everybody.
Oh, wow. A lot of bulges going on, huh? Looks like people are stealing fruit, is what it looks like.
Bulge to the max, dude. Like bulges everywhere.
Yeah.
Oh man. Yeah, don't remake that, please, Hollywood. But what a great show and a great time that was.
Oh, guys. Hey, let me interrupt, do a little business here. Guys, if you love this, if you love Dean Cain, Jericho, and Charlotte, oh my God, we have so much fun here. And you guys in the chat are the absolute best. Make sure you subscribe, hit the like, check out all the Dean stuff. I put links in the chat, and mods, if you could find more of the No Vacancy and Little Angels and the Genesis Gold Group, all that stuff. If you could throw that in the chat, please do, mods. And make sure you subscribe, share all that stuff. We love you guys, and hit the upvote on this too. Hit the like, please. So where were we, boys? We were talking about Point Break. Now, Dean, when we go into movies, we go into them for like 3-4 hours, and I know you got other things to do tonight.
I got to take my kid to dinner.
Right. Where are you guys going? Where are you guys headed?
We're going to a little place called Bowie Sushi, right over around the corner from here.
Very nice.
It's about a 4-minute drive.
Okay, that's what you took me when we first went on our first date, right? So it was awesome. It was very.
We were down in your neck of the woods on our first date. We were down in your neck of the woods. Steak.
What's that? Necking in the woods? What'd you say?
Yeah, he bought me a big old hunk of meat the first time we went out.
It's a shame that my marriage has been going for 23 years strong, and I'm just gonna get in a huge fight tomorrow. I'm gonna be like, "Well, Gabe's wife had him dye his beard, and I came in there looking like a jackass."
You let me go.
You let me down.
Hey, Dean, what do you and your son usually talk about when you guys are having dinner? Is it like sports or
anything? He's a big, he is a big jiu-jitsu fighter. He's fantastic. So any of that sort of stuff he loves to talk about. He talks about his stuff going on in his college and his friends and this and about his, what he wants to do. And he's a video game design major. So he gets excited about his future, some of his projects and some of the things he likes to create. And we kind of talk about everything. We talk about family members and stuff. I mean, like, he is my favorite human being in the world. If I could pick anybody to hang out with, it's my kid. So, like, I don't care what we like. We're going to drive to Vegas tomorrow. And
Oh,
that's the 5 hours we're gonna be chilling. It's the happiest 5 hours I could spend, just hanging, talking to him.
isn't it great? And your boy, he's what, 22, right?
22.
Right. And my boy's 24,
man.
and we were just in Vegas for 3 days, just the boys. And
We're going. I don't like how much he likes to gamble, but we get into that too. He likes to. He doesn't even care. He wants to win, but he doesn't care about the money. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He just gives it to me, and I'm
Very
like,
cool.
all right, well.
Oh,
he
I
takes it
heard
from me when he gambles too.
an interesting connection. This is a cultural thing. I heard you say that because of some of the Spanish that your son has, his middle name is your dad's first name, right?
Yes. No, it's my name.
Oh, it's your name.
The firstborn son in Spain very typically has the father's name as the middle name.
Okay. And my dad's from Libya, and where they're from, all of the children, the middle name is the dad's name. So my son is Peter Gabriel. My daughter's Minnie Gabriella. That's why I'm Jabril Abdulati, because my dad is Abdulati. And then my grandpa's Juma, so my dad is Abdul Juma. So you always get the dad's name for the middle name.
I love your oldest son's music.
Peter Gabriel, right?
Yeah,
he ended up
really good.
Yeah, already that kid has done.
Peter Gabriel,
Man.
he's done lots of good work,
dude.
Right?
Hit after hit.
But I thought
Even
that
on
was
his
interesting.
own.
That's it. So yeah, I've had a home in Spain for 20 years. I mean, I travel the world all the time. That's one of the things that cracks me up when people start talking about, you don't know anything. What do you know? I'm all over the world. You name it, I'm there. Whether it's the Middle East, all through Europe, Australia, New Zealand, you name it. And I talk to people. I talk politics. I hear what they have to say. And one of the things this is one of the things I loved, but this is going away in our society right now, is we as Americans love Michael Jordan. We want to be Michael Jordan. We don't begrudge him his success. He earned that. He's the greatest ever. And so we celebrate that and go, I want to be that. And the UK, they tear everybody down. You get that great success and they start tearing you down. Well, that's starting to happen here. Elon Musk, that's one African American who's doing real well.
Yeah, he's doing all right. He's doing all right.
Doing all right. And I love his success. I applaud his success, and I'd love to emulate his success. And that's the thing is, people want to tear it down, but we're starting to get to the place now. We're starting to tear down those people who've done well, and that's horrible. You should say that's great. This guy invented the zipper. We all have a zipper. Our lives are all better.
Right.
Yeah, we used to celebrate, and now we want them to share. Now it's not just your wealth. You need to redistribute it. You need to give us some of your blood, sweat, and tears. No way. You weren't waking up. When I was waking up, you were drooling on the pillow. This is mine.
Yeah. Sean,
100%, Jericho. That's it.
Yeah. Can you share this? Because when Sean and I first started doing the show like a year ago, Dean, he talked to me about the culture of resentment, as he put it. Yeah. And he turned me on to Atlas Shrugged, which was, oh my God, it sounds like it was written last week. Atlas Shrugged.
And
when you see Michael Jordan, you see Tom Brady, you see anyone that's successful, you're like, yes, I can be like Arnold. I could be like anyone. That's one of the main features of the American way. But this culture of resentment, you saw it at Ground Zero, Sean, at the universities you were teaching at.
Yeah, sure.
Can you tell me a little bit how that works or where that comes from? Why do you think it's growing so rapidly?
Well, I mean, it's because it's in the curriculum. I mean, I have an art history. Well, legitimately, I have an art history book somewhere I'm kicking around here by Laurie Adams, and it's called Methodologies in Art, and it's a book that costs $40 on Amazon, and because it's a textbook, but so most people aren't going to see it. Now, when I was getting my master's degree in fine arts, which would have been right around the time my kids were born, the book was about a decade or so ago, and in the book it talked about contextualizing art, and it had two ways to contextualize it, and it was Marxist interpretations. That was the chapter, and feminist. And here's the opening for the Marxist interpretation.
Those are the options.
God, I hated this class.
It gets better. It gets
you
absolutely
vomit
better.
Or diarrhea. You get your pick.
It was great. Yeah, we and it was interesting. We took a field trip to Jonestown. But no, the thing about it was what it said was, the opening section was, we'll begin, the two most important are Marxism and feminism. We'll begin with Marxism because feminism as it's understood today is a derivative of Marxism. So you have to, and I mean, I have this textbook and I've sent screen caps to people. And so the thing about it is, and the great myth is that it's being like insidiously covered up. It's not. It is out there in broad daylight. These people are brazen because they don't have any fear, because who's going to hold them accountable? They run everything.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And the thing that was so interesting to me about it is, and what people don't understand is, I'd have students come up to me one time, a really sweet gal who's been successful in the entertainment industry, and she said, it's one of those times when, as a college professor, you just try not to use too many expletives and throw your hands up in the air because you don't have answers. She came up to me and she goes, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. What question? You hope it's about art." And she goes, "So my family escaped from Cuba, and and communism. So why are all these people wearing Che Guevara shirts?" I'm like,
Great
sit
question.
down a second. Do you drink? I don't drink, but I'm about to. Like, that's kind of how it goes.
Yep.
And in Chattanooga, Tennessee, where I grew up, we had there was a movie made about a spelling bee winner named Lin Yang, who was a Cambodian refugee, and it was called The Girl Who Cried Freedom, and she was also a newscaster. And my wife's best friend from kindergarten, who has the same name as her, Lauren, she married a guy from my town. Think about this. These girls in Dallas both married two different kind of Asian guys from outside of Chattanooga, Tennessee. But his mom walked pregnant with him out of a Khmer Rouge concentration camp because these middle-class Cambodian kids went to Paris, were taught hipster Marxism, and then came back and murdered a country. And so he never knew his father. His father stayed behind while she walked out of there with her sister pregnant with him. And I tell people this all the time. When these kids get to college and they're hearing this stuff, that's, to me, the most brutal thing you see. It is, I hate communism as I hate hell and all Montague. No, but I hate, Montagues are fine. We've squashed that beef. Yeah.
And here's
A long time ago.
I have one more thing from Sean that I want you to show Dean, because Denzel is his favorite actor. Do you have the Denzel painting handy?
Oh, yeah, dude,
hell
it's
yeah.
right here, right now,
You gotta show
Book of
Dean.
Eli.
But I would just say, all of this garbage, Marxist, feminist, whatever, it has nothing. I am an expert artist. I'm a world-class artist. That's why I work for the biggest companies. It has nothing to do with drawing. Okay, you don't need to learn any of that crap to learn to draw. You need to practice, have good instructors, blah, blah, blah. But them shoving this crap in there is so insidious. But you got to see this. This is a guy who doesn't believe in Marxism and communism. This is what he can do. Right?
Denzel Washington.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Sean is an amazing, he's a badass, okay?
That is seriously badass.
He did the same
This
thing.
is my hero, man.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I start every stream on my channel that I can with an acceptance speech for a Lifetime Achievement Award by Denzel, where he says, ease is a greater threat to progress than hardship. And it's one of my favorite quotes of all time. But this man right here, I've got a painting of him, of Woody Strode, another one of my favorite actors from Once Upon a Time in the West. But yeah, and then of course I've got this excellent hand-painted hang in there Tiger Cat poster because I'm a man of class.
Yes. You gotta mix it up, baby.
Hang in there.
Hang in there.
Now,
yeah, if it wasn't for gym class, I wouldn't have any class at all. All right, so let's.
Now, when you see skill like what he has, you don't get there with that communist concept of why is he good at drawing, and I should just have that culture of resentment where you just want to take off of other people's plate. So
it's a meritocracy, man. It's a meritocracy, and we should celebrate amazingness. That's it.
Yep.
Right.
And the world does great when we're doing great. And like Sean said, there's no fear of consequence because, when it comes to the media, their watchdog, the watchdog is now their lapdog.
Right.
They're all on the same team now. They're all singing from the same hymnal. So, of course, and that's why you get these people saying these evil plans they have out loud and these stupid, crazy things because there's no one to check them. There's no one to tell them, hey, man, that's ridiculous or that's stupid. And if you do, well, you're some kind of freak. Wait, what do you mean you don't want to date a Ku Klux trans woman? What's wrong? What's wrong? It's just a dick? Yeah, that's a big deal.
Minor detail, bro.
That's a big deal.
I ain't getting anywhere near it.
That's a deal breaker.
It ain't
Deal
breaker.
breaker.
That's it.
Love the personality, great smile, but you have a penis.
That's
You're
it.
out.
And scene.
That is.
You are a bigot. Real quick, let me grab two of these super chats. Staleezy for $2. Sorry, Staleezy, you asked this so long ago. Where did Lois learn to kick? I don't know exactly what this is in reference to.
I don't either, but I'll tell you, Terry was a very good dancer, and she was previously, and you're going to love this, Jericho, she was a 49ers cheerleader.
Knew there was something
had to
about
happen.
her. Knew there was something about her.
Let
me go in the house and serve my wife with papers. Going after Terry Hatcher.
There you go, honey. So,
and then, oh wow, this is really nice. Vero Frady for 5, just because. Thank you so much.
That's
I'll tell you this, Sean, you were saying, or Jericho, one of you were saying, you know, you can't do anything to these people because they run everything. You can do something to these people. You could do what I did, walking away from Warner Brothers, cushy job, and say, F you, I'm not making a Superman that hates America. You do what Sean did, 18 years teaching in college. Say, you know what? I'm out of here. I'm not teaching white kids they're pieces of crap. You do what Jericho does. He gets up there and speaks the truth, and he gets attacked because he just talks about all this crap, and he won't. And you, Dean, you're on Twitter, a culture warrior all the time, making important films like Gosnell and all this stuff. So, yeah, you can do something about it. And you in the crowd, you can do it too. You absolutely can. I believe in you completely. And if you're not talented or speak or artist, then support people like us completely. Retweet us, whatever you can do. But we lost our culture through the arts, believe it or not through politics and all that. When you give up on art, music, singing, dancing, you said, Dean, that your favorite movie maybe is It's a Wonderful Life. It's probably my favorite movie too. Great. I don't cry at the end when he's there with the whole city bailed him out. A coincidence of dust in the room when that scene comes up.
And paired with onion cutting,
right.
It can get.
That's what happens.
But that is the way Hollywood should have went. Frank Capra's Hollywood.
Love it.
And we went in the disgusting Hollywood instead. And conservatives, patriots, shame on you, because you walked away from the arts completely almost and said, it's all filth. It's like, no, good art is good. Filthy art is filthy. So we need to start raising more illustrators and writers and actors that are just not woke and conservative and patriot. And they don't even have, you can be a Democrat. Just don't be a lunatic, communist one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, okay, off the soapbox. Sorry.
Dean, Dean, can you put my mind at ease? Hopefully you can. Please tell me that in Hollywood, there's a silent majority, that there are more people who are not drinking the Kool-Aid, who are not Holly weirdos. And we understand why they have to bite their tongue, you know, and win in Rome, you know, to a certain extent. But I would love for you to tell me that there are more decent people in Hollywood, like-minded people in Hollywood than we might think.
There are. And so it's a good thing, Jericho, I can say that. They tend to more be the crew members, though, more often than not. They're the crew members. They're everybody else making the movies. They're like, yo, hey, come here. Just want to say, appreciate what you say, appreciate what you do, appreciate what you stand for. I feel the same, but I can't say a damn thing or else I don't have a job here.
Yeah.
So thank you. You know, they say it to me all the time. And I know guys will look at me and they're like, yeah. With the artists, you know, the folks in front of the camera, it's just assumed that you're going to be on that side. And so that if you say something different, it's shocking to everybody. And everybody knows me and where I stand because I speak out. And but then I'll get other guys walk up to me and be like, hey man, so I was thinking about getting a gun, you know, and could, you know, I'm on the board of directors for the NRA. I'm a police officer. I'm the right guy to ask. And I'm like, all right. So what do you wonder about the type of weapon you want? You want training? What do you want? I'll hook you up with people. Thank you. You know, and I'll just quietly go do that, you know, and they do. And I appreciate that. And if I'm somebody they can talk to about it, I'll take those slings and arrows. But there are a lot of people, and I don't want to name people because I don't want people to be upset with them, but there are so many. And I think it's a pendulum. You know, I think we're doing this weird McCarthyism thing now where, you know, if you're a conservative, I mean, like Rob Reiner makes good movies. I just despise his politics, but I told him that.
Nuttier than squirrel shit.
I saw him and I go, hey, Rob, you know, I don't agree with you politically at all, but I think you make good movies.
What do you think this is, though, Dean? Because I did this on the smaller scale in comics where I worked with these people at DC and all these companies who hated my politics and were woke and crazy and said all this whole, hey, Christian this, American, and I still did a great job, award-winning on some of the books I did. I just still did my best because I'm an adult and I'm a professional. Why can't they hear me say I voted for Trump and just do their good job? And we just, okay, we disagree, but I heard your shit and I did the work. Why can't you hear me say it? And then you don't want me to at the company anymore. What do you think it is? Because, I'm sure you see it with the acting stuff. What do you think that is?
Well, it's what we all know it is. It's why they did to the Jews during the Holocaust. They other you. They other you and they make you less than human. And once they can do that, then everything that happens to you is fine. It's like the Jimmy Kimmel. I like Jimmy. I've known Jimmy forever, and until he's gotten so crazy woke where he's saying, I don't know, an unvaxxed person comes in having a heart attack and a vaxxed person comes in has a heart attack. Vaccinated, here you go. Unvaccinated, that's just othering. And that's the greatest example. If 10 years ago I told you about a vaccination like that, blah, blah, you'd be like, no, man, that could never happen.
No way.
And look what they did. And they've done that. If you didn't get vaccinated, you don't care about this. Forget what all the research says now. We were just doing our best because we thought, no, you were othering people. You were making them less than human so that if they died having a heart attack, you know what the answer is? Unvaxxed guy comes in having a heart attack, and the vax guy comes in having a heart attack. You treat them both, and you treat them equally as best you can. That's what you do, and that's what you should always do. Anybody who says otherwise,
I still do see some real heroes out there. Salute to you guys, alone in your car with your mask on.
Straight out, you're being a big saving.
Bruh.
Not all heroes.
I love that guy. I love the guy alone with the mask. He's one of my favorite
see them
guys.
all the time.
Vasectomy, please.
I just look at him. When he's
all
doing this,
around.
you're just going to go.
Bro, what's going on?
We talk about appreciating the people who create, the technology, and you mentioned the zipper, and I don't know why. I think sometimes it's just things just come to you, but I kept thinking about the guy who invented the wood chipper. I don't know if you guys have
Hope
that.
he has a
but
bunch of
it
zippers.
was like
hero.
But on a
They
on
say
a
he was a
serious note,
stern,
too.
quiet gentleman.
Yeah, that's right. I just had that long stare off into the middle distance. But the thing about it is, too, on a serious note, and this is the thing that I hope and I pray that people can open themselves up to, is that I remember when I saw Lois and Clark, I was a massive fan of that show. My natural reaction when I see a work of art, an actor who gives a performance, who does something like that, is I want good things for that person because they have enriched my life. Mm-hmm. I look at the artists, whether it's with Stan Lee or Jack Kirby or any of these great comic book artists, Steven Spielberg, George Lucas. I don't resent them. I thank them. They've given me so much. And when I see somebody like you, and I know you've seen a lot of this in the chat, I tell people, I go, I want good things for this person. I want the best for this person because this person brings good things into the world. I don't understand the opposite. And I think that the more of us that say it, the more people will realize how sane and how much happier you will be if you live your life that way.
Damn.
And walk away, ladies and gentlemen.
Absolutely. Laser Beam Hawkins. Oh, this is Laser Beam Hawkins. Let's see. Bless you, gentlemen. Hail Dean, truth, justice, and the American way. Thank you. $5, friend.
You know what?
Laser Beam.
Thank you, Laser Beam. Let me see. There's a huge one in here. Where is it? Oh my goodness. Aruma Faye, one of our big-time fans. She's always here.
Always.
And $50. My
Aruma Faye.
Goodness. Thank you, Aruma. I'll buy more beard dye for the next time Dean comes on.
Just for men. That's all going to Just for Men.
It was a coincidence. I've been thinking about doing it for a few days.
By the way, my dad did the Just for Men one time, and his hair was gray, and he did the Just for Men. And my dad's a farm boy. You don't do that to a farm boy. The laughter, I mean, it was so funny to me. I cried, and it took it forever. And he was so mad about it, and it's just mad and embarrassed, and it made it that much funnier. And oh my god, it didn't look like him. I was like, "Who is that? What the hell?"
I was at my mother-in-law's house about a month ago, and I have a little niece. She's just learning to talk like a year and a half, too. And she kept looking at me and going, Santa. Because my beard is white here. My goatee is still naturally black. There's a white patch in it, like right here. But the sides are all white pretty much. So, Aruma Faye, thank you. Very generous.
Thank you, Aruma Faye.
I pray more men rise like you gentlemen to lead us into the future. We need leaders, and men are the ones to do it. And women, we must uplift good, godly, faith-filled men. Wow.
God bless you.
Bam.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
In a nutshell.
Thank you.
Yeah,
because the way I look at it, guys, and I've said this in all the interviews I do. I love that I've been able to do a lot of media in the last year because one of the things that's so important to me in my worldview is this beautiful world I live in of like air conditioning and clean water, refrigeration, medicine, everything we have, all the amazing abundance we have. I didn't pay for it. It was paid for by centuries of blood and toil. And read a history book. It was miserable to live for pretty much everyone, men and women. And here we are, you know, diet soda in a can. Wow, what a time to be alive. And I'm not going to be here one day. And someone built this world for me, and I need to build the world for them in the future. That's how I pay it back and balance the scale. I made this my screensaver on my phone, and I send this to all you gentlemen. The three of you are the ones that get her the most. Hold on. You know who I'm talking about, right? I call her Yahaha. This is
That's right.
Oh,
that's the one I send you guys, right?
Yep.
She's like 3 months old today or tomorrow. That's my granddaughter, Ivy.
Right on.
And I want to make sure when I ain't around, there's still paved roads. There's still clean water. She can speak freely, and we don't go to the gulag at night. No gulag parties at 3 in the morning. You know what I mean?
No burlap sacks over your face, never to be heard
And
from.
I want you to know
again.
something. That baby girl is going to sleep sound because I'm going to be out on the streets with that wood chipper.
That's right.
Patrolling.
That's right,
Pacing.
Just
Pacing.
fertilizing the forest, baby.
That's
That's
right.
right. We're helping the environment, man. Let's go green for real, man.
Oh, now my brother's shitting on me.
Oh, here we go.
There it is. There it is. You just made this great, wonderfully impassioned speech for your granddaughter in her future, and Abe comes up with you dyed your hair. Wow.
It was my
right.
beard.
Brotherly love, man.
What is beard made out of? Hair.
Okay.
100%.
You see
100%
that?
hair, man.
That's
Like,
Princeton
out,
right
baby.
there.
Yep. That's an Ivy League right there. Hair.
This is the funny thing. But I gotta say, I'm so disappointed. Yes, I do, Tammy. You can be my wingman anytime, Tammy.
No, you can be mine.
Yeah,
Sorry.
this is the thing, right? And it cracks me up, man. You see people in this world who've got so many amazing things going on, so many beautiful things, and I don't think it's a tremendous amount of effort to just shift their heads a little bit more towards the beauty. You know, we try to keep it positive. Like I was telling somebody today that when you see people who are really stressed out, things are tough at work, people lose their jobs, people have family with health problems, people get diagnoses that are tough. You learn how to only breathe in one direction, which is in. And laughter helps you get that stuff out so you can take deep, full breaths when you're doing this stuff. Do you know what I mean? But, it's weird, Dean. The thing that has disappointed me the most during this stream is that you have to use traveling the world and all these things to explain to people you're an intelligent man when you went to Princeton. I'm losing faith in the universe right now. Do you know what I mean?
Man.
Just laminate that thing. Laminate your diploma and carry it
Wear
around
the
with you.
shirt, number 11, Princeton.
Yeah, wear your jersey. Jeez.
Come on.
That's one of the things. It's always fun when they talk about how stupid I am as an actor. Is that someone always brings up? Well, he did go to Princeton, but nowadays they're kind of like, well, so what?
Right. Yeah.
But I went to the old Princeton. I went to the good
Old
Princeton.
school Princeton. That's right.
That's right.
I didn't go to this.
Meritocracy.
I didn't go to
Real
this chest
quick.
feeder man birthing person shit.
Comic-Con pit stop. Interesting question. I like it. Dean, were you up against anyone for the role of Superman? Ooh, who was
Man,
it?
I was up against everyone. I swear, when I walked in that first room, I saw 30 faces I knew, and I'm like, what the hell am I doing here?
Keanu Reeves?
You know, I recognize all these. No Keanu Reeves, though.
Dude, justice
dude?
the American way, bro.
Dude, bummer, dude. Sorry, man.
Keanu
I'm a
was right
reporter
there.
for the Daily Planet. Sorry. Sorry.
But I'll tell you who it came down to. Came down to myself and Kevin Sorbo.
Oh, Hercules.
Blonde hair, long blonde hair. I was like, I got this in the bag.
He did all right.
Long blonde hair, right? Oh, he did great.
You guys
He ended up doing all right in the 90s.
We're good
pretty
buddies
good.
too. He's great and wonderful and hell of a golfer. He really is a golfer. But yeah, so it's down to me and Kevin. And fortunately I got it. And Kevin got to be Hercules, and that makes good sense.
All right.
I love your circle. It's like Superman, Hulk, Hercules. We're just hanging.
That's
We're just hanging.
That's how we roll, baby.
Yeah, that's right.
That's a pretty solid group right there.
Good group.
Can I ask you now? My daughter's a stand-up comedian. I used to write a lot of comedy. We love to laugh in this house. You see the guys I surround myself with. Shanta's hilarious. Jericho's a freaking talent comedically. You are friends with one of my favorite guys, Dennis Miller.
Oh,
Can I
yeah.
ask you?
Oh yeah.
Is he?
Cool.
I mean, I think he's like a mega IQ guy, right? Like I
He
get
is
the
a
vibe
mega
he's
IQ guy.
ultra
I got to look
intelligent.
up like every fifth word he says.
Right, he has that.
He's like blah 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 blah. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
It was like
I get it.
He'll be like, it was like the Treaty of
That's
San
what happened.
Guadalupe, babe. You know,
He brings up stuff. He and I and Gary Sinise the other day. Gary's moving his
Wait a minute.
foundation.
He just dropped that. You can't just drop that.
We were
Right.
Gary's moving his
he's
foundation.
friends with Lieutenant Dan.
Hold on.
You gotta stop.
So me, Dennis Miller, and Gary Sinise. Continue, please, sir. I just had to digest
The
that.
three of them walk into a bar.
We
So
were having
Gary's
dinner with
moving his,
Reagan's ghost, and
Gary's moving his foundation from out California to Tennessee for obvious reasons.
Damn it.
And so he's moving out there with that. And so we were all coming through. Different groups of people were coming through to check it out. So Dennis and I were there at the same time. We all had lunch. It was great. But even Gary was making fun of it too. It was like, Dennis said something. Both Gary and I kind of chuckled and looked at each other. And he's like, "Did you understand what he just said?" I was like, "No, I don't. I got to look up like 3 words to figure out what he said." But he is as funny as they are as they come. Sweet, wonderful guy. I love him. Dennis Miller is fantastic.
Okay, because I think I'm the only person in the world that loved him on Monday Night Football because I love that super high.
Oh yeah,
level.
dude, Dennis Miller.
He say stuff that was hysterical, but nobody.
Whatever he
somebody
does.
I don't want to say dummies. We'll just say people of average intelligence. They hated him. Like, no, he's funny. You dummies. Look what you've done.
He's hilarious, man. Hey, I'll even take him in Bordello of Blood. Give me that Dennis Miller. I'll take him all. I like Dennis Miller. He's hilarious.
He's phenomenal.
Yeah.
Super
Now-
intellect and
now,
super witty and dry. His humor is dry.
Right.
That's
And
the best.
you got to get it. And you got to pay attention because he's just going to deliver it right here.
Yeah. Love that
best.
guy.
Now,
Um,
Dean,
Let's.
go ahead.
Sorry,
I'll wait.
sorry. Let me read this. Vera Freddy again for 5. Thank you, friend. Live today, do next, right thing next day, and life is good with God. Okay. Yeah.
True that.
Do the right thing always. I
So-
think that's the main point of being a man is regulating your emotions and doing the right thing no matter how I feel about it.
Yeah, because we've all seen what happens, when a man can't regulate his emotions
You
and he
just
lets
indulge
them
yourself.
get the best of him. Yeah, isn't that weird? The ladylike emotions in the body of a man, that's going to work out great.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: being that you weren't a child star, so you lived a good portion of your life as a normie. Now you're obviously a celebrity, doing Superman in different movies. Is being famous, is being in Hollywood everything that's in our minds when we're young? That it's
Hell no.
awesome.
Parts of it can be great, but no, I mean, you lose all anonymity, And my dad told me this when I started as an actor. He said, "Look, here's what's going to happen. You're going to go out there and you're going to be a big star, and media's going to love you, and they're going to say all these wonderful things about you. Don't believe any of that crap, because soon they're going to come at you and they're going to start tearing you down. They love to build you up and they love to tear you down. So don't buy that crap." Fortunately, I had a lot of people that I grew up with who became actors way before me. And my dad directed a lot of them in Young Guns. Sean Penn and Chris Penn. Their Penn's parents and my parents were best friends. Rob Lowe, Charlie Sheen, Emilio Estevez. These are the kids that I grew up with and played sports with. And so I went off to college and they all were becoming famous. And I watched them all make some massive mistakes. I was like, I'm not doing that. I ain't making that mistake. I ain't going to do that. So part of it's fun is because you become part of this. You see somebody you like and you're like, "Hey, what's up, man? What's up?" And then now you're like, "Denzel, nice to meet you, man." I'm Dean's like, "I know who you are." Something like that. You're like, "How do you know who I am?"
Well, take me now.
Yeah,
I'm ready to go.
That stuff is great. But if anybody who starts to believe their own press, believe there's something special because they're in front of the camera, because people recognize them, that's when you get. And there are those. I mean, I've seen a lot of people where I'm like, "This person's so cool. Hey, she's so cool," and then we're at an event and just talking, and then the paparazzi come around, they just turn into something else.
Oh man.
And I'm like, I'm out. That's the biggest turn off in the world for me. Guys, girls, there are a lot of actors who do that. And I'm just about, and maybe it's because I'm an athlete, and athlete, you get knocked on your tail, you got to get back up. Nobody cares what you did last play, or nobody cares. You get knocked on your tail, you better get back up and be a part of your team and do it. There's Dad's film, Young Guns, so good.
Yeah.
So speaking of Young Guns, you have a Kiefer Sutherland, Charlie Sheen, Lou Diamond Phillips, Emilio Estevez. You mentioned the Penn Boys, R.I.P. Chris.
Yeah.
So did you climb over the pile of women, or did you burrow under them to get out? Like, what did you have to, like, one of you grab their feet and 1, 2, 3, toss them out of the way and make a pile so you can get through? How did you navigate?
Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah,
Right.
how did you low crawl? How did you navigate the situations that you might have found yourself in, hanging around with these boys?
Well, it's funny. Like, Charlie wasn't when he was in high school. Hey, there wasn't nothing to have to navigate. He wasn't doing nothing. He was hanging out. Emilio's a good athlete, super fast. Charlie was a good baseball player, but Emilio was super fast. But they wasn't getting that much action back then. They weren't getting famous. They weren't. I was 5 years later, sexiest man in the world, Charlie Sheen. I was like, what?
Wait, how?
How'd that happen? Rob Lowe, who used to get thrown in like pools. The women always loved Rob. They always loved him.
Yeah, he's a good-looking man.
Yeah, he's so pretty, and they're like, they loved him. But Rob, not his brother Chad, much better athlete. But Rob always had the ladies, and guys don't like that. Oh, pretty boy gets that.
That is one thing we don't admire in other men. We admire the money and the business success, but the women are like, gotta take
women like you. Because he's so good looking. No, you need one of these. But Rob Lowe's going to be the commencement speaker for my son's graduation at High Point University.
Ooh,
not bad. Not bad, kid. Not bad at all.
I was like, Rob's going to be your speaker? Rob barely graduated. I'm kidding, Rob. I'm kidding.
So when you're heckling him from the audience,
I missed that. I'm sorry.
Are you going to be heckling him from the audience?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. 100%. Boo. Story, I'll be like, that's not true. You didn't do that. They threw you in the pool.
This guy's a bum. Get him out of here.
You're gonna hire the Sandman from the Apollo to show up with his cane and throw him off the stage.
I'll get that guy from Happy Gilmore. Jackass.
I love Rob, and I'm sure he'll give a great speech, and he's wonderful. And he's really grown as a man and a human being, and as a father. So I really love to see the journey that he's taken. And he's a wonderful dad and a wonderful person, and so bless him. Yeah. So I'm glad that my son gets to hear somebody that lives right up the street at his graduation in North Carolina. It's cool.
That's really
I don't remember who my speaker was.
And I'm sure I'm sure you weren't a slouch in that department either, because some might categorize you as a good-looking man, athlete.
It's been said by some.
You do have the Superman credential, so I'm sure I'm sure you weren't. There weren't too many nights like, oh, I wish I had someone. You know what I mean?
I like the ladies. I'll say that. I like the ladies, and I still don't have a ring on this finger. So,
oh man,
people are always asking, "Why are you so happy? Why are you so Gabe with that finger that doesn't even work?"
It works. It works.
It works. It's set on your draw. It's literally ready to draw.
There you go.
Out there spraying and praying.
I work a lot. Yeah. Have you seen Brian Baldinger's finger on the NFL Network?
Oh yeah, man. That shit's at like 9 o'clock.
It's like sideways like that.
Denzel Washington too. Denzel Washington, pinky finger, I think, on his right hand.
I got one like that right there.
Oh, okay. See,
that one ain't going.
What about you, Sean?
That's his only imperfection.
No,
Look
man,
at the end of my pinky finger.
I've got the arm, man. That's mine.
Oh, that's right. Sean has the back.
I've got the trick arm. Yeah.
That's like the story of Achilles. That was because that's the part where his mom held him and dipped him into the magical water. The tip of my pinky. That's about it.
He's the exception though, right? Denzel's the guy who gets all the ladies, and you're like, but a good guy. I like that guy.
Yeah.
Denzel is
I definitely be proud of him.
Man. Girls want to sleep with him, and guys want to be him. That's a win.
Yep. He's the man.
Weapon X cracked the code. He said Gabe throwing up gang size. That's right. That is right. I don't know what gang
you claim, fool.
Listen,
I'm breaking
there's no gang here.
I
live in a pretty nice part of San Diego. There are no gangs right here.
They're a very nice gang.
You got to go up to East County or down by the border.
Yeah, the gang is called the Navy.
The HOA
in San Diego.
That's a good gang.
You don't want to point to that.
Right.
I see that Navy sign right behind Jericho too. Bless him.
Right.
He's a veteran. That's right.
Yeah. I wasn't a SEAL. That came to me from some members of SEAL Team 6, but I was a part of the world's finest Navy, and it was fun. A lot of hard work, but you mentioned Spain. That was my the first port that we landed in. So we left Earl Naval Weapons Station in Colts Neck, New Jersey. 11 days later, We reached Barcelona, Spain. We went through the Straits of Gibraltar, all that. Reached Barcelona, Spain. So we've been on the ship for 11 days. We've had a payday while we were out to sea. You can't really buy much because you don't have a lot of room. You're very limited space, you know, in your berthing area.
Hey.
So if you've ever had like a dog in the house all day, and when you're putting the key in the door, that dog just like blah, 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 going nuts. That was us as the ship is getting closer and closer to Barcelona. And when we were unleashed, if you will, on the local population, it was a thing of legends, man. It really was.
Now,
Dean, understand that and believe it.
You got to understand, this is an 18-year-old Jericho, and those Mediterranean Spanish women.
Oh.
You want to talk about brown hair and green eyes? That's what my wife has.
We would see groups of girls, young, 19, 20-year-old girls, 5, 6 of them, just giggling, walking around, blonde, some of them blonde hair, blue eyes, totally Spanish.
Yep, like my son's mother.
Clubs. We went to a club and it was just all night. No slow songs, no rap songs.
Still is.
Just techno. Oh, man. Yeah, we were, like I said, 11 days hemmed up on the ship. Yeah.
Somebody got
Sangria.
Somebody
was had. And
we'll give you a
You
headache.
still can't go back to Spain, right? I mean, you told me that they've got your picture up. Like,
I think they finally took it down 2023. January 1, 2023. They told me they were going to take it down.
This town.
Hey, man, I've lived in Spain for 20 years. I've had a home there. I'm going to start putting your picture back up.
No. That's right. I served my time. Dean. Don't you do that to me. Don't do that to me.
Hey, I got to take my kid, man. I got to take him.
Hey.
Dude,
thank you, Dean.
Way longer than I thought.
You.
It was amazing.
One favor before you go.
I want to do it again.
One big favor. Could you do me a favor and give a shout out to my 2 favorite people in the world and say hi, Aiden and Priya, for me?
Hi, Aiden. Hi, Priya. Hope you are well.
There you
go. The man. Thank you, sir.
He's Dean Cain. He's the man, the myth, the legend, the real Man of Steel, the best Superman ever. We love him. Will you come back and maybe talk about a movie someday? Young Guns from Your Father?
Yeah.
Yeah, come on back here because, man, we had a lot of great guys. I just felt energy between the 4 of us.
Great. I love
it. We connected so hard.
It was so good.
Here's the story.
Exactly. And best to your son, man.
Yeah.
Hey, have a great time, man. Thank you, Dean.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
it
you,
was just amazing. Thank you so much for doing it. And thank you guys in the chat. And I think we had a great night. Make sure you hit the like and the subscribe. I think we're going to end it here, guys. There's no point in reviewing a movie after this. But
there's no point.
Watch Point Break. It's good.
Now, well, that'll take us 4 more hours.
Yeah, Will.
People at home watch it, enjoy it.
All right. We love you, buddy. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you
so much. Take care.
Have a good night.
Gentlemen.
Have a good night.
And I mean it.
See you, bud. All right. He's out. And okay. So we were going to do Point Break, but obviously I don't think we should do that now, right?
Dude.
We can do Major Pain and get to Point Break later.
Yeah.
But it was just fucking, that movie was something else. It had everything.
I have the photos. We'll do it eventually. Point Break.
Yeah.
We will.
It was something else.
Yeah. So,
FBI.
what'd you guys think of that? Was that fun or what? That was awesome.
That was fun as hell, man. What a cool dude.
Dean's awesome.
Yeah,
and
he's very much like that. He took me and my wife to a steakhouse out to dinner, and he's just like that. He's just like a normal guy. He's so like down to earth about everything. So
incredible talent. Awesome. I mean, he's like every normal guy who's been to Princeton, set records in his college career, and played Superman. You know what I'm saying?
Dated Brooke Shields.
And former Playmate.
Right.
That's right.
Oh yeah, that's
former Spanish.
He's a tremendous father. And I tell you what was great to me is when he was describing his own father. I swear it was great. It sounded like his father was he's like he grew up on a farm and all this stuff. And I go, so your father was Jonathan Kent, like Jonathan Kent raised Superman.
You really
Incredible,
are Superman.
His dad.
Yeah,
my God, what a great.
No, he's
guy.
a good sport, and he treats me totally normal because it's like this is a TV movie star guy, and I just called him this afternoon and we talked about something. I'll tell you guys about it some other time. But yeah, he treats me really nice, and he's really been generous with his time and very kind to me and giving me advice about things. And I really admire the guy. So I just asked him the other day, hey, man, you want to come on? I didn't know if he could or couldn't. And here he was. We had a blast in 2.5 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah, it was awesome.
2 hours with him. This is definitely our shortest double impact.
Yeah.
by like 2 hours because we can put in some time.
I say we call it a night, though. I don't think it'd be a good
can I
idea
say,
to go forward and.
Let me add something real quick. Jericho, can you please show off the green gear to
Of
our
course.
audience? Because
shit,
holy
yes.
cow, those
Yes.
came out great. You got to make him full screen.
Oh, this? You mean
yes?
This right here? Yeah.
I do believe it's
Irresponsible teacher. I will only drink it from this mug. And then I have a t-shirt too. I have the t-shirt, but I'm just wearing the hoodie right now. But hell yeah. Look at that.
Beautiful.
All the way on the bottom there. Oh, hold on.
Hey, it's got your bouillabaisse.
There we go, right there. How do you like that thing?
Yeah.
Let me say
I'm glad
this,
he was
man.
a good sport and did the little improv scene with you.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
These are the guys, and we were having some text exchanges today, and also I was talking to my brother from another mother, Nick, who's my best friend, did some coloring on The Shadow. And this is the thing we were saying, man. It's like when these are people you rock with, these are the people you ride or die. We get up to all kinds of craziness, and from inception to silliness, us sending messages back and forth to see that merch materialize is freaking beautiful.
Yeah,
it's
man.
beautiful.
Right.
That's all you.
Yeah, and
know,
in the way
I
of
appreciate it.
websites, I'm gonna have a fully functional battle station very soon. I saw a preview of my website
nice.
today from my web design I've been
right.
telling Jericho and Sean about, and it's gonna be able to do everything, guys. I'm so happy about this because the stuff with Indiegogo, some of you Comicsgate fans out there, you know about alleged shadow banning and weird stuff that went on and stuff against conservatives. And the great Adam Carolla said, "You build your own pirate ship." So I'm going to have my own, completely my own website. That's all mine. I control everything in it, including crowdfunding, sales, and all that. And going after what Jericho does here, where he has mygreenggear.com, right? Is that what it's called?
Yeah,
or
that's the one.
Okay. Tamier's got it.
That's my website too. But mygreenggear.com is where I have the.
Yeah, it's right under that.
Okay.
But thank you, Tamier.
Brady,
thank you.
Is there a money back guarantee? Oh, did I miss super chats on anyone? I'm sorry if I did. I'm sorry. I thought I caught them all. Maybe he's talking about.
Might be. I don't know if it's for the
mug. He might be joking about the mug.
About the merch. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Tamier and the My Green Gear, she's got that in the chat, guys. So anybody who hasn't checked it out, that shirt,
please do.
The mugs, everything, right? You've got that on everything, right, Jericho?
So far, t-shirts, hoodies, and mugs. I'm working on hats.
Nice.
What about the G-string I told you I wanted?
No, I think they went in scrap plans for that one.
I don't need it. I'm Porky Pig.
I'll have to figure something else out for the party.
I'll get my G-strings.
I'll get my G-strings yet.
You know what's funny though? I want to say this.
I missed one of Zippy's. So, Zippy, if you write it again, I'll throw it up there.
Yep.
Go ahead, Sean. Go ahead.
No, and this is the thing too, right? When I was doing that design, there's this big thing that started happening in Western art where all posters, all prints, you saw it with campaign posters, started to mimic Marxist, communist, socialist propaganda posters. It became a thing, and we kind of adopted their thing. So when I started working on that, I wanted to take something, the uniquely American representational style, right, and make some art for you, Jericho, because it really is. I mean, it's the core of what you do. You know what I mean? And it just seemed like, that there's just this aspect of history. There's this aspect of, we can be funny, we can be witty, and we can get people to like wear things that are just unbelievably cool. When people see that shirt, they're going to go, what is that? I got to know more about it. That's the goal, man.
That's awesome. And the color, the gold on the black, man, that shit looks good.
The two mics really I had to do, the Statue of Liberty mics on either side, has to be done. That's what it is. It's for Jericho.
Yeah, man. Very nice. The old school mics. I love it. Everything. Everything, man. I'll be sipping my Earl Grey from here until I'm done.
I was wondering, could you make them edible G-strings, chocolate flavored, perhaps?
Well, part of them will be chocolate flavor when you take them off.
Oh, dear, not that kind. I don't like dark chocolate. Only
if you mean like an entire made of chocolate edible G-string, I'll see what we can do.
Indubitably, sir.
Indubitably, you bugger.
I love you giving up on talking him into robbing the bank with you. Okay, I would do.
You're so persuasive, dear.
The most sincere Arnold ever to exist.
The sincerity. The sincerity
It's
is what does it, Sean.
You have the soul of Jimmy Stewart, but it's in Arnold. It's the craziest thing. Do you know? It's like we'll have to do a reading or a reading of It's a Wonderful Life with Arnold as Jimmy Stewart.
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
You would crush that.
Like a real high back, sturdy chair in front of a fire type, reading.
Yeah. That's right.
Because he can be serious sometimes. He's not always, he's
Arnold. I did want
to tone it down.
About Arnold, how do you feel about people not really knowing about your sensitive side, and they just think you're just this big muscle, dangerous man with guns and pectoral muscles? Who's the real Arnold that's sensitive, that cries, maybe even?
Well, thank you for asking me, because I like coming here because you care.
I do very much.
I do have a sensitive side. I'm not always, look at me, come here, go there. I like to calm down, chill, put on some nice warm jammies, or sometimes I throw them in the dryer for a couple of minutes so they're nice and warm, and I put them on my body. And then I sit down, I read books. Sometimes I listen to a book, Dr. Seuss, something like that there. Maybe like a Marvel series, like a cartoon book or something like that. I'll sit there and listen to it. And sometimes I'm lonely. My frumpy dumpy housekeeper's not here, and I cry.
Now you told me you and her, you got in an awful fight, and she left to her mother's house for 2 days, and then you stayed home and you cried a little. How did you get over that? I mean, how'd you get her to come back?
I was crying for a day or so, like 24 to 28 hours or something there. I don't let myself cry any longer than that. And I go to a house, I put on a trench coat. Don't worry, I had clothes on under the trench coat this time. And I go to a house and I hold the radio over my head and I play a song on the side of a window. Come out here, come on, kill me.
And what song did you play to win her heart back?
I like the song from the movie Top Gun by Berlin, Take My Breath Away, because that's what she does to me. She takes my breath away from me. I see her bending over, changing
I've heard you were quite a singer when you were
Gabe, I was emptying my heart out to you. Let me finish. So I see her bend over the trash there. She's changing the trash can or something. She's cleaning the floor, and she bends over on the curves there, and I can't help myself. And I go behind her. You know how that ends there.
Okay. When I was so rude and I interrupted you,
it's okay.
I heard you were quite the enchanting singer. As a young man, you were a falsetto. Could you sing a few bars of Berlin's hit from Top Gun for us?
Yeah. I'm not as falsetto anymore because of all the steroids and the things I injected in my butt cheeks there.
Well, they're sublime, your butt cheeks. It was good. It was worth it.
Thank you. But yeah, my favorite part is the chorus where she says, "Take my breath away." Something like that, dear.
Beautiful. Just like I remember.
Thank you.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna have to switch things up. I've got to do some Jimmy Stewart doing an Arnold Schwarzenegger role, because that's my favorite imitation. Here it is. Here's him in one of those roles. Yeah. Well, I guess I'll be back. No, it's like
I like it.
That's it right there.
That's
love it.
Here's a super chat. I missed, apparently. Sorry, Zippy the Unicorn. Man, I screwed you up on the super chats like 3 times. Soda Pop is doing a commencement. Now I've heard it all. What? Soda? Who's Soda Pop? Are we talking? Is that Biden or is that something? What am I missing here?
I think
Biden's Corn Pop. I know he has a guy named Corn Pop.
Corn Pop. Okay. I'm sorry, buddy. I'm sorry I screwed that up for you. My fault.
We will
get
it sorted.
We'll get you next time. I'm really sorry about that. I was trying to keep up. I was. Okay, well, we had our fun. Dean will be back. He's a great guy, and we love him here. And I'm loving you, Jericho. Loving you, Sean. You guys are the best. You're my boys. Are we doing Major Pain still next week? We're going to stay on that. We got to do it.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited about that.
Guys,
you're calling me a liar?
There's links in the chat.
Yep.
You follow those links in the
Click
chat.
it.
You subscribe to my Instagram. You subscribe to Jericho and Sean's YouTube. And you check out Sean's fully painted comic book, Nosfero. You saw that Denzel painting. You saw it. You know how good this guy is at painting, drawing.
Amazing.
You're going to want to check this out, okay? Please check it out and share the links out. This was a great interview and a great time. Next Wednesday night, March, what will that be? About the 15th, 7 p.m. Pacific, right here Double Impact Major Pain. Talk to you guys later. Peace.
Peace.